Alrighty. Well, it's Friday, August 19th, and I am one of your hosts, Randall Thor 19 of the Xbox 2 podcast. And with me, as always, ready to talk about all the interesting things that happened in the world of Xbox and video games this week. Taking a journey, just like Sam Porter Bridges. My friend, Jez Corden of Windows Central. What's going on, man?
It's all good, man. It's all good in the hood. How are you doing? I'm doing all right. Just rocking and rolling. Happy to be here. I'm gonna pull up the chat now before I forget.
Yeah, I gotta pull it. I gotta make sure I'm not muted. Apparently, like I was last week.
I had to cut like 3 minutes out of the audio version of last week's show because you were just muted. Randall muted, returned in earnest. The worst incarnation of Rand, the muted version. Because we all want to hear what you have to say, Rand. We don't want Randall muted.
Anyways,
but yeah.
it's honestly good to keep on doing the show on Fridays. You know, I know at some point we're gonna slip and we're gonna do the show Saturday, but I greatly do like doing the show when we're supposed to. Although, guys, you know what's funny? Every single time Jez hops into the Discord call, something always goes wrong. And today was hilarious because he couldn't select his... What was the problem you were having? You couldn't hear me, but I could hear you. Oh, man, he was swearing up a storm because he couldn't hear me. But it happens literally every single time. We've been doing this show now for 229 episodes. Now, granted, for some of these, we were actually using Google Hangouts before they shut those down, and we moved to Discord. But every single time we get into this call, he always has this problem. And it's absolutely hilarious. And I don't know why. Why do you have these problems, Jez? What's going on?
It's Windows' fault, man. It's Windows' fault. Well, man, it just wouldn't let me select the correct audio thing. But dude, even when I'm like streaming, even back in the day when I used to stream on Mixer with Roby, every time I'd boot my PC up, all my audio settings are different every single bloody time. So it's lucky that I came on as early as I did because it took me like what.
You had to reset your PC to get it to work right?
Yeah, that's damn true. But we made it in the end, and we are here. And there's a mosquito buzzing around. And I got him. No, I didn't. That's just a comment, man. Oh man, it's raining here, Rand. So I've been back in Germany for like over a month or so, and it ain't rained once the whole time I've been here. It's been dry as a bone. All the garden is dead. All the grass is dead. Looks like a desert. It's crazy, but now it's raining and it's beautiful. There's a nice cool wind blowing, and I'm feeling autumn gradually making its way, pushing summer.
Yeah. August is finally
my
on.
Electronics are cooler. Yeah.
August is finally on its way out. Next week will be my birthday. You know.
Oh damn! The big 5-0, right?
Yeah. No. The big 4-0 was last year. This is just 4-1 now. Now it's just downhill.
4-1.
You know? Well, it's just been downhill since 30. You know what I mean? Like, boom! Downhill since 30. And then you get to 40. Now it's 41. But yeah, next week, Rand's birthday. Let's see how many people remember. But before we get into everything, thank you guys for being here. Make sure you do us a big favor and hit the like button. Super easy. Just right in the bottom corner. Doesn't cost anybody anything. Just click it. And share this out on social media. Let everybody know that we are indeed live because sometimes YouTube doesn't let people know when they really should. So we got a great show planned for everybody. I don't know how long this episode is going to be because it's not too much, but I always say that, or I always think that at least, and we end up going somehow really long. Or sometimes we could even go longer, but Jess is like, I'm tired and I'm hungry. And then we got to end the show. But I'm neither of those today, so we can go longer if you want. Yeah, okay. So before we get any of that, this episode of the Xbox 2 podcast is powered by Manscaped. Now, this is interesting because Jez wrote this up for me, and he included some very topical information in the ad read. So let me take you on a journey here, guys. So if you're, happen to find yourself trekking packages across the whole United States in Death Stranding, make sure your package is up to snuff with Manscaped. Avoid chafing with the epic Boxers 2.0. Keep everything trim and proper with the Crop Preserver and Crop Cleanser Ball Toner. Or grab everything in the Performance Package 4.0. Keep those BTs at bay with better ball hygiene and our promo code XB2. That's the letter X, letter B, and the number 2 in the checkout for a whopping 20% off at everything at manscaped.com, including free shipping. Now, this deal is Sam Bridges approved. Disclaimer, may or may not be approved by Sam Porter Bridges. So, we got a little Death Stranding themed Manscaped ad read today, huh?
I figure nobody knows packages better than Sam Porter Bridges, right? The dude is obsessed with packages, and I figure that when Death Stranding came out, it had a lot of promos in it. It had like the Monster Energy drink. Was it Monster Energy drink? I think it did have Monster Energy drink in it, right? It had some product placements.
Yes.
What about Manscaped in Death Stranding? I think that'd be cool because there's all those scenes where Norman Reedus is in the shower. Yes. He's getting clean. He's going to the bathroom and stuff. But I don't see him do anything beyond the basic shower. What if there's a scene where Norman Reedus whips out the Performance Package 4.0 and starts shaving his balls?
It's funny because in that game you can actually use your urine and shit and throw it at BTs. I don't know if you remember that. Well, you see,
yeah, I do.
It's funny because just like my buddy Sam, who I believe is actually watching because I thought I saw his name pop up there. A lot of people I know stopped. They were really liking the game, and then they get up to Chapter 3. And I remember I told you this. You were loving it too, and then you got to Chapter 3.
Yes.
And then you stopped playing it. Just like my buddy Sam. Just like a couple other people I know.
Man, I don't know if you psychologically just injected that into me. And when I got to Chapter 3, I was just like, oh man, Rand's right. But I'm wondering now, maybe if Rand hadn't have said that, maybe I wouldn't have had that narrative in my head. So maybe it's all your fault.
I guess so.
And maybe the Death Stranding is just the best game ever made and you ruined it. But yeah, we're not dropping any spoilers for Death Stranding. Like the fact that you can use urine is pretty much right at the start. There's no spoilers for Death Stranding here. But that is the big topic of the week, really, is the major coup that Microsoft managed to get PlayStation exclusive Kojima's baby onto PC Game Pass, because Sony, for whatever reason, relinquished the rights to the PC version to 505 games. And yeah, we'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, no spoilers here because it is a very story-driven game.
It is.
We'll get into that in a bit.
But we got a couple of comments here and super chats I want to get to before we start everything up. Aaron, he's been a member for 23 months and says, hey dudes, lots of love to you guys. You guys are always helping me get through the worst situations of my life. Escapism is important. Well, I mean, we're glad that we can help you in any way, shape, or, any way possible to escape from your daily routine. And I hope you're doing well, man. Punk, he's here. He says, let's go, baby. This is how you start your Friday. Yes, Friday afternoons, the Xbox 2 podcast. We are live, and we're ready to get into it. John Lorehound in the Super Chat says, Rand, I finally finished the Wheel of Time books. What do I read or play next to feel less empty? Whoa, you actually finished all 14 or 15 with the prequel book? I know that feeling, bro, of what do I do? What do I read next to feel less empty? Because I felt that same feeling. I was completely emotionally drained, and I didn't know what to do anymore.
Just hearing the phrase "reading several books" leaves me emotionally drained.
Yeah, well,
so that's pretty impressive.
You know what leaves me emotionally drained? Listening to you talk every single week on this podcast.
Oh, that's good to know. Because you've been doing it for over 200 times now.
229 episodes coming up on the big 250.
Well,
you know,
isn't it more than that? Because didn't we only just start numbering them after a certain point?
I mean,
Maybe?
we did, but I think I put all of them in the playlist. So like, all you gotta do is like look at the Xbox 2 podcast playlist to see how many episodes there have been. So you know, there maybe we're off by 1 or 2 or whatever, but we're right around there. But I mean, as for reading it really depends on, you know, what you want to tackle next, or what type of things you want to read. If you want to go for another epic fantasy series like The Wheel of Time, if you really like the last 3 books in this series, you can always pick up some of Brandon Sanderson's stuff. Whether it's the Mistborn Era 1, you can start there, which is pretty good. Although he has his own epic fantasy series called the Stormlight Archive, and that is absolutely amazing. You know, Joe Abercrombie's First Law trilogy is a great grimdark story. I mean, you can't go wrong with you know, Game of Thrones, Song of Ice and Fire. I mean, there's a lot of great books out there. DM me if you have any questions or whatever. But for, what should you play? I mean, next week I'll be playing Saints Row. So like, finally, something I'm looking forward to is coming out. Like, I'm a big fan of Saints Row. I can't wait for that to come out. And then finally we're gonna have like Plague's Tale next month. Well, not next month, but in October with Modern Warfare 2. A whole bunch of games, Gotham Knights. I mean, it's finally some stuff that I kind of. I mean, I cross my fingers that Gotham Knights is actually going to be good, because who knows. Miami Magpie says, "Happy Friday, guys! Looking forward to the show today. Cyberpunk DLC. Is there anything about Cyberpunk DLC coming soon, Jez, or have you heard anything?"
Not that I've heard. I mean, we've been waiting for a million years. They pretty much announced that their plan was to have like large. Hearts of Stone, Blood and Wine type, large DLC expansions like The Witcher 3 for Cyberpunk, but they haven't materialized because they've had to spend so much time fixing the base game and polishing up the base game and stuff like that. So God knows when we're going to get the Cyberpunk DLC, but I feel like when they eventually do release Cyberpunk DLC, it'll be something of almost like a relaunch of the game. I wouldn't be surprised if they eventually do some kind of director's cut and just sort of, to draw a line under the original. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I love the base game. I'm on the record of loving the base game, and I have no regrets about that. It's a brilliant game. And you still haven't played it, have you?
Played what?
Cyberpunk.
I mean, it's funny you mention that, because me and my buddies were talking about that the other night. It's like, is it safe to play Cyberpunk now? Should we play Cyberpunk?
Safe at launch day, baby.
No, not on.
Safe at launch day.
No, I don't think so.
As long as you played on PC, that is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you were part of the Yellow Chair gang, so, you know.
I was not. I never had a yellow chair. Rich Edmonds on Windows Central got our yellow chair.
You were part of that. You just didn't want people to know that you were part of the Yellow Chair gang, you know?
My friend, I have a very nice Minecraft secret lab chair. Thank you very much.
Minecraft? Why Minecraft
secret lab chair.
Anything you could have chosen? Like, why Minecraft?
Dude, I got like 1,000 hours played in Minecraft. I'm a secret Minecraft fanboy.
Okay, fair enough. Aaron says the intro slaps. Yeah, the intro by Sean Labrie is pretty damn awesome.
Sean Labrie is amazing.
Yes,
if anyone is watching this who's a YouTuber or a podcaster or any sort of content creator, and you want to take your graphics up to the next level, try and find Sean Labrie on Twitter, because he takes commissions and his rates are very friendly, and he's pretty much made most of the graphics for the whole Xbox community at this point. So yeah, he made all our channel intro and all that good stuff.
Yeah, the overlay
he's an awesome
here,
dude.
you know. So he's very
he's
good at what he does. Very good. Gina Marie, they say, "I'm happy I'm finally able to catch a show live. # bring Peppa back." Man, the call for Peppa in chat, I see it.
I was about to tell you, everyone wants Peppa Pig back, and you're taking it away. What?
Peppa Pig's not coming back, man. I'm sorry.
What have we got this week?
I don't know. Hades footage, because it's leaving Game Pass.
Oh man,
it's an amazing game. It's leaving Game Pass, so if you haven't played it, now's your time. But it's worth buying for. I think it's $20. It's incredible. I thought about playing Cult of Lamb, Jez, but I still. Problem with Cult of Lamb is I've watched people play it, and the management stuff just does not look appealing to me at all. Like, that is what is preventing me. I just don't like management sims. I'm sorry.
No. You're ignorant.
Am I ignorant, really?
You're ignorant, yeah. You're ignorant.
How am I ignorant?
Because you refuse to open your mind to the glory of management simulation. I think every game should have a management simulation layer.
I would stop playing. I would stop playing games if every game had a management.
I would love it, right? If between every level in Halo, you have to spend 10 minutes like polishing your guns or like doing like power washing on your Mjolnir armor and stuff. You know, you could do like power wash simulator. Man, just giving someone out there an amazing idea for Forge mode. What if there was a power wash simulator in Forge mode where you have to clean like warthogs and the different vehicles and stuff like that? That'd be amazing. And I bet you Forge mode could let that happen. Maybe power wash simulator devs will sue. But do they have the monopoly on games with power wash simulation? I don't know. Lucius says I have terrible ideas. Do you not like my idea, Rand, of power wash simulation in Halo? I think that'd be way more fun than Halo in general.
I'd have to ask the resident Halo expert, one bad mother in chat, if he thinks that would be a good thing, a good Forge thing. Would he want to clean? Would he want to clean Master Chief's armor? I wouldn't. But no, I don't know. I wish there was a way where I could like have a custom difficulty for Cult of Lamb where it's like, okay, I played on the roguelite action part on normal or whatever, and then barely have to interact with any of the management stuff because I just don't care about building lumber mills and stone quarries and picking up poo and like feeding people and doing all that stuff. It just I've never liked doing any of that stuff. I don't know, I might still check it out. I do have it. It's I don't know. If there's just a way where I could be like, I want to avoid all that stuff and I just want to do through the other things, I would totally hop on. But I mean, they did announce a million players, which is great. I mean, indie game, week old, million, what more can you ask for? But there was a little bit of controversy surrounding the game, Jez. I don't know if you saw. Prompting Devolver Digital actually make a statement. Did you hear about this?
Yeah, I did. I did see some tweets. I've been a bit out of it this week, actually, because I had 2 days off work. And I tried to not work, which means not looking at Twitter so much. But that being said, I did see that Devolver had to come out and debunk the rumor that Sony had paid to keep Cult of Lamb off Xbox.
Because last week we had a great show. Microsoft was savage Sony over their responses of the Call of Duty thing, which was amazing. And one of the things that they said in their little response to the Brazilian government was that Sony pays for blocking rights to prevent games from going on Game Pass, which we sort of knew because they have those in their marketing agreements where it's like, hey, if you're taking our money for marketing, you're not going to be in a competitor subscription service, which I get I understand. It's understandable. But there's a lot of other people that think like they're doing this for other games, like games that aren't being marketed. And one of them was Cult of Lamb, or this Cult of Lamb game, because on, I believe it was like the Kind of Funny Games Daily, Gary Whitta said that someone told him that Sony paid for Cult of Lamb not to be on Game Pass. And that spread like wildfire because of course, right? Of course it would. And Devolver had to come out and say that's irrevocably like not true at all. So. Interesting.
That we know of.
Well,
you never know. You never know.
I guess so. I do wonder if, like, we know Sony's blocking stuff for marketing, which I understand. I do wonder if they're actually paying developers and publishers out there not to put their games in Game Pass, but to, like, still come out. Like, I wonder if that actually happens or if Microsoft's just talking about the marketing thing. I wish we could see beyond the redacted info just to, like we did with the Apple and Epic case, just to see what's truly going on here. You know, the video game industry is so secretive sometimes. Just because, like, when you look on Twitter, you have everybody that's like, "Oh, this is just normal. This is just business as usual. Everybody does it, etc., etc., etc." But like, do they actually know? Like, do these people on Twitter who are in the gaming industry, do they actually know how these contracts are structured and what's really going on, or are they just going to the default? Everybody does it. It's normal. It's business. It's not a big deal. I really would like to know. Maybe you should delve deep. You should do some Jason Schreier investigative journalism for Windows Central, Jez. Find out the truth about
investigative journalism.
Yeah.
No, that's too much hard work.
Instead of bitching about the Xbox app in your article, do some investigative. You know.
Nah, that's too much work. I'll leave that to Jason.
Okay.
That's real journalism. I ain't about that.
You ain't about
I'm
that.
about chilling. About chilling, man.
Justin in the super chat says, "Are we getting the rumored Quake 2 remaster for Xbox today or tomorrow for Quakecon? Love that game." So I must be out of the loop because I haven't heard about a rumored Quake 2 remaster. Have you?
I have not. I mean, there's been rumors about them looking at Quake for a million years at this point, and the fact that Quake had such a big sort of I don't know what you call it, a reminder that it exists at Quakecon, you know. It's kind of a teaser, isn't it? It's kind of like, Quake's coming back. But
last year we
nothing
got
concrete.
What was the Quake game that we got last year that came out? Was that Quake? Was it Quake 1?
I can't remember. Quake 1 remastered. Night Dive Studios did it, right?
Yeah, MVG. That was his studio because it came in Game Pass and went everywhere. Was that Quake 1? That was like the OG Quake, right? I think
so. Something like that.
So there's a rumor going around that they're about to remaster Quake 2. I mean, they did just put like Quake Champions.
They kind of teased it, I think,
on PC Game Pass and stuff with achievements.
Yeah, they did.
I don't know.
They did indeed. I'm gonna try that Quake Champions because I've never actually tried it. Never tried it, but it's Quake and it's superficially similar to Overwatch, and I kind of always hoped that it'd come to console, but and that's one question I got a lot this week is like, why is there no Quake Champions for Xbox consoles? Why is it only on PC? Because they went as far as adding Xbox achievements to some of these ports to the Microsoft Store.
Well,
but obviously we don't have the console version.
Well, yeah, so QuakeCon yesterday, they added some games to PC Game Pass. They added Quake 4, Quake Champions, which if you have Game Pass Ultimate, you get the perk which unlocks all the champions in Quake Champions. Wolfenstein 3D, and Return to Castle Wolfenstein, and I think 2 Elder Scrolls games, or like Elder Scrolls Adventures, or you know what I'm talking about? I've never heard of those.
Yeah,
before.
the random old school Elder Scrolls games. Basically, their entire back catalog is practically on PC Game Pass right now. Like it's become quite a nice little library of classic content. There's even stuff like Hexen on there. Hexen's one game that I hope we see revived when because Activision holds the rights to Hexen right now, and Bethesda's only able to distribute the PC version or whatever. I don't think they're able to actually just make new games. But if we go on PC Game Pass, we've got Quake 4, Return to Castle Wolfenstein, the old school version, Elder Scrolls Legend, Battlespire, which I've never heard of in my life, Elder Scrolls Adventures Redguard, Wolfenstein 3D, and a bunch of other games. Cooking Simulator, what's that? That looks really cool. See, now that's my kind of game, man. Cooking Simulator. I'm going to download that right now.
But there were a lot of people upset about the fact that these games that they announced for Game Pass did not come to Xbox Game Pass, strictly PC. And I mean, you know my stance on this, Jez. My stance has been the same forever.
What is that stance, Rand?
Parity between both.
It's kind of hard though.
Oh no, look, I understand. It's hard. I understand. Death Stranding can't be on console. Like, I get it. I understand. Even looking at these, like Quake 4, which is a 360 game, probably. Because I say like, well, why isn't it back compat? And it's like, well, I believe was Quake 4 published by Activision, if I'm not mistaken, and Return to Castle Wolfenstein. That was, I believe, Activision as well, and that was an OG Xbox game. So Activision doesn't do those sort of things, and I think the BC team move on. So like, probably doesn't make a lot of sense to port any of these things to console. It's just like. Whatever, they're here. The PC versions will put them on Game Pass and people can play them.
Yeah, it was Raven. Raven made that game, dude. It's so amazing, right? I got like such an epic sort of, I don't know, sort of vision of Raven being part of Microsoft and being able to return to some of the franchises they used to work on, like Wolfenstein and Quake and stuff like that, and. It'd just be so cool, man. Because Raven's a good dev. Like, they made Warzone, which is obviously Call of Duty's bread and butter now. So and I know the few of the devs.
Which probably means Raven's going to continue to make Warzone. Warzone 2 leaked. The date sort of leaked, coming November 16th supposedly. So,
Singularity as well.
Singularity is great. I believe they also made the X-Men Origins Wolverine game, which. It's one of the best movie tie-in games ever. Well. Like Raven's a great dev, and I love me some Warzone. I can't actually wait to play Warzone 2 because it's gonna be brand new. But I also would love to see. Well, you know how much I love my battle royales. I mean, come on.
That's the only genre you like, man.
No, that's not true. I was in a party last night with my buddy Magic and my buddy Sam and my buddy Gopher, and they were playing. I think was it My Hero, like an anime. It was like an My Hero Academia or something.
It's Rand pretending he doesn't know.
No, I don't know. I don't know.
Guys. I bet secretly Rand is a massive anime fanboy.
Rand is not.
Secretly, Rand is a massive weeb, and I bet he's got. And this is why, right? We never see a photograph of Rand's room because I know it's full of pink posters of anime girls. He's got hug pillows and figurines. I just feel that in my bones, Rand. That you're actually a massive weeb.
It's not true.
Would that be true?
It's not true. But those are my friends. But those three are my friends who are really big into anime, and they're playing this My Hero game on PlayStation 4, and it's a battle royale. It's coming out I think later this year, next year or something. I think it's My Hero Academia. I don't know. Maybe it's called something else. But they were playing it and they were loving it. And then it's a battle royale, and they were trying to convince me that to play it when it launches. So,
Maybe it's called My Hero Academia. Well,
they talk about this anime in parties sometimes. I just pick up some of the words through osmosis.
I just pick up some of the words, guys. I'm not a weeb. I bet you know the characters too, right? Bakugo, Deku. I mean, so I heard. I don't actually know either.
Bakugo?
I'm not a weeb.
Bakugo? Yeah. Who's Bakugo?
Yeah, exactly. Who's Bakugo? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Never heard of him. Deku? No idea who that is. No idea. Oh man, what's that frog chick called? There's a frog girl that everyone loves. I don't know. I bet ask your friends about the frog girl.
because you're a weeb. But anyways, enough about.
I just know from the memes, man.
Enough about the anime stuff.
I don't watch mainstream anime, Rand.
Oh,
I don't watch mainstream. I don't watch My Hero Academia. I don't watch One Piece or Naruto. I watch high class anime like Eva and Paranoia Agent. Cowboy Bebop, Satoshi Kon. I'm sort of like a high class kind of weeb.
Okay.
I've got more culture than some of these other.
Fair enough.
Out there.
But back to this discussion about the Quakecon Game Pass thing. A lot of people were upset by it. Do you sympathize with them? I mean, do you understand their frustrations, or is it just one of those things where it's just like, hey, sometimes console Game Pass gets stuff that doesn't come to PC Game Pass, and it's just like MLB The Show doesn't come to PC Game Pass, and neither did Outriders and stuff. So this is kind of just it is what it is. I don't know, man. What are you laughing at now?
I'm just laughing at chat because everyone's saying I'm a boomer anime.
You
Because I listen to loads of old anime. Oh well. I like some new anime. One Punch Man's pretty cool. But anyway, I digress. I think it's ultimately like, is there going to be an audience really? Like, is there actually going to be, for example, is there actually going to be much of an audience for Quake Champions on PC Game Pass? Probably not. They've ported it because it's easy to do. They've got the extractable. They've got the Win32 package. They can just slap it on there, and it takes like no work, or well, comparatively less work than actually doing a full-blown console port, having to like, add all those APIs in and do all the stuff that you need to do, blah, 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 blah. That being said, if for some reason Quake Champions just happens to blow up on PC Game Pass, maybe they'll take another look at it and think, oh, actually, maybe there's some virality here. Maybe we can like do something with this. Oh, Sleepy Goblin says, cultured weebs watch Jinro and Akira. Exactly. Jinro is amazing. Rand, you might actually like Jinro. It's very violent. Oh, and Hellsing Ultimate, baby. But anyway, enough weeb stuff, because we know Rand is uncultured, and he only likes to read Western books, which read from left to right. Those sort of normie books, we call them. Anyway, sorry, Rand, I'm drinking, so I've already drank too much.
Keep on.
Already.
So we got an achievement who's been a member for 12 months. He says, I think Xbox is conditioning PlayStation, getting them used to putting their games on Game Pass between Death Stranding and MLB. Who knows what the future holds? I mean, the future probably holds another MLB game for Game Pass next year. Outside of that, probably, unless like Sony completely changes their business model, I doubt we see any, because Death Stranding, well, we'll talk about in a little bit why I think this one came over, but I don't think we'll see many more PlayStation games come to Game Pass PC or Xbox in general. So, but you never know. Stranger things have happened. Nobody ever thought crossplay was going to be a thing, and that ended up happening, and nobody ever thought MLB would be on Xbox, and that happened, and nobody thought Xbox would buy Activision or Bethesda or Sony buy Bungie, so crazier things have happened. Gaston says,
ultimately, it's like, it's money at the end of the day. I'm sure there's a universe where Microsoft can somehow convince Sony to support PC Game Pass directly. But there's a lot of rumors right now that, PlayStation's working on their own PC offering.
Yeah.
Because, and just to segue into this, touch on this other topic that you've got in the list, people have found references to a new PC launcher for PlayStation games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're gonna have to install yet another launcher, for PlayStation games and stuff. Which, it makes sense at the end of the day. It makes sense because Sony would prefer it to not have to give Steam a cut, and if they can offer a service that doesn't necessarily have to give Steam a cut, why not do it? I don't blame Sony for doing it. It makes complete sense. Windows is an open platform, unlike iOS, unlike Android. You can just slap any program you want on Windows without having to go through Microsoft whatsoever. So that is something that Sony might do. And if they are going to do their own PC launcher and maybe do their own PC game subscription service, which potentially could be pretty easy and lucrative for them to do very quickly, because there's a lot of indie games out there who happily take some money from Sony to put their games there. I mean, we've seen Epic Games do it left, right, and center, to try and build up their very, maligned launcher that people only use to download free games and then never use it. I always I got like the Epic Game launcher, and I get the free game, and then I just exit. I don't even play the game. I just like, yeah, I'll have the free game. It's free, and then I just never play it. I never use it. I don't know. I just got too much damn stuff to play already.
I mean, yeah. So a lot of this information was found by data miners data mining the Spider-Man PC version, which just released, and there was some other things about like even like potential like linking, your PSN account to PC stuff, or there was like co-op mode that was sort of mentioned, or multiplayer mode in Spider-Man, which maybe they're probably going to repackage and repackage for the sequel coming up. But yeah, PlayStation PC launcher, I mean, that's a dead brainer. Like, that's a no-brainer. I don't know why I said dead brainer. That's 100% going to happen in the future. They have all these games. Jim Ryan, my guy, Jim Dance Moves Ryan, he's out there. He's, especially if you're going to close the gap between releases, and you have these live service games releasing, like, yeah, you might as well have your own launcher where you could do cross-buy, right? Where you can get maybe the PlayStation audience to sort of be like, I can play here or I can play there, and kind of have cross-save, right? I would imagine that's how they would do it. But it's kind of like Microsoft. I mean, Microsoft has the Xbox app, but, like, they also sell their games on Steam because that's where PC gamers are. I guess, you wrote an article today, a scathing article about the Xbox app. Even though I've talked to some people recently that say it's not as bad as you make it out to be. Now, granted, I haven't used it. I've never used it. I will never use it because I don't play games on PC, so I don't know how good or how mediocre or how bad it is. But Jez tells me it's horrible. Other people are telling me it's actually way better than it used to be. Other people are telling me it's like flawless. So I guess it really depends. I'm just saying.
Are they high?
I'm just saying that's what people have told me. I'm just letting you know.
They're lying.
I don't have an opinion
They're
either
lying.
way because I'm not playing games on PC. What are the odds that Sony comes out with the launcher that works better than the Xbox app on PC?
100%.
100%, you say?
100%. 100%. 100%. Sony makes a better launcher than PC Game Pass. 100%.
Damn.
And I've literally just opened the PC Game Pass app right now, and it's locked up. Literally talking about it right now. Opened it, and it's locked up. And to be fair, I am on the insider program for it, but I wasn't on the insider program when I did the review. Thank you very much, because obviously that would be bad. I used, public code to do the review, but I switched to the insider program because I noticed that the cloud gaming section on the PC Game Pass app now lets you filter by mouse and keyboard, which is kind of like a hint that they are going to bring mouse and keyboard support to cloud games in the near future. And there is currently 364 cloud games you can play on there. And if you filter by mouse and keyboard, it comes up with Psychonauts and Sea of Thieves, although it doesn't work as of podcasting. I suppose it's coming in the near future, but the thing is, I did say in the review that it's fine. If all you're going to use it for is downloading the game and launching it and then ignoring it, it's fine. And I wrote that in my review. I didn't say like it's completely broken. I didn't say that it like never works. But there are other issues with the PC Game Pass offering, which are sort of systemic and sort of an issue with like Windows itself. For example, one of my big problems with PC Game Pass is that a lot of the games are inferior to the Steam version of those games. And this is a problem with UWP. Like, for example, Pillars of Eternity, right? The Pillars of Eternity version on PC Game Pass is the UWP version of the game, which is fucking broken, right? And I'm using a curse word because it makes me really angry. Because I played that game for 40 hours, putting up with these horrible bugs, only to realize that the Steam version of the game had none of these bugs, And eventually I got to a point where I just couldn't play it anymore because it was broken, And it's weird to be irritated about a game that's ultimately free, right? But at the same time, it's like, should I not call out the fact that it's fucking broken on PC Game Pass? Should I just ignore that because it's free? Or, am I writing a review about it and should I call it out? Because it's not the only game on there that is broken. It's not the only game that has a version mismatch with the PC version of the game, So there's a load of small issues with it. It's not a polished experience. It's not a mature experience. Part of the problem is the Windows Store and the way games are delivered via Windows. Part of the problem is that some bits of the app are owned by different teams at Microsoft, whereas other parts are owned by Xbox, other parts are owned by Windows. You know, it's all those sort of different sort of issues that coalesce to make it an irritating app to use. That being said, it does work, you know, and that's why I gave it 7 out of 10. And I even put recommended on it because it's still a great service, costs $10 a month. You still get hundreds of games, and the vast majority of them work. But it's not flawless. It's nowhere near flawless. It's very flawed. And considering that Microsoft is this billion-dollar software company, I feel like they should do a better job. You know, is that so wrong? Is that so wrong, Rand?
I mean, I guess not. I mean, I don't have any frame of reference here because I haven't used it. But sound off in chat if you have.
Dude,
let us know.
Don't you have like a beast PC?
No,
you have like a beast
I bought
mode
this PC like 4 years ago.
What graphics card you got?
I got a 1080 in it. That's it.
Oh, okay.
I can't even play. I probably can't even play games at like 30 frames in here. No. I
thought you had like a proper beast mode PC for some reason.
Why would I have a proper beast mode PC? I don't play anything on it. This PC is literally used to podcast, make my videos, and watch YouTube and what other stuff. That's it. Like, what do I need a 3080 for? I'm not looking to play, games on this thing. That's what my Xbox is for, and my PlayStation, and not the Switch.
There's loads of great games on PC, man. You are legitimately missing out.
No.
You are legitimately missing out.
No.
I've been playing this really great PC Game Pass game called Into the Breach. Have you heard of that?
I mean, Into the Breach is, I think, is on Xbox, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think
maybe
so.
Maybe it's not. I don't know.
I don't think so. It's well, I was gonna say you might like it, but then I remembered it's a strategy game.
Nah,
and we all know. Yeah, Rand only plays Battle Royale.
Stop it with this. Rand only does this stuff. That's not true.
You only play Okay. You also play walking simulators.
That's not. I mean, I do like those, and I do like Battle Royales. I like a whole bunch of stuff.
Your ultimate game is a walking sim Battle Royale, where 100 players have to walk the fastest. How would that even work? 100-player Battle Royale walking simulator?
I don't know.
Oh, man.
But that sounds amazing. I'll play it. I'll play. Gaston says, "Give me Peppa Pig or give me the casket." Well, I guess you're gonna get the casket because there's no Peppa Pig. I said last week, Peppa Pig is being ransomed. If you want Peppa Pig, if you want Peppa Pig, you gotta cough up like $100 super chat, and then you can have all the Peppa Pig in the world that you can want. I'll put it on every single time. If someone comes in here and be like, here's what, I'll even make it $50. There you can go. $50, you can have Peppa Pig the whole entire episode. And then if next week you want more Peppa Pig and somebody does it, you can have Peppa Pig. You can have Peppa Pig every single episode for the rest of the Xbox 2 history.
Oh my god, dude! that should be a Patreon tier.
Yeah.
Like if someone subscribes to the highest tier, they get to enter a lottery to choose the gameplay footage, and we have to get it. I think that'd be hilarious.
Crazy Lou.
But maybe it wouldn't be hilarious. Maybe it'd be actual torture.
It would probably be actual torture because they'd be making us play stupid stuff. Crazy Lou Gaming, what's up, buddy? He says, "Hello, Randall Thor 19. Hello, Jez. Hope you guys are doing awesome. We're doing pretty good. Glad that you're here, man.
We're doing pretty good.
Hope you're doing.
Dude.
What?
S guest in chat just said Power Wash Battle Royale. Think about it.
Power Wash Battle Royale?
That'd be sick. What if there was like, okay, hear me out, 100 power washers and 100 vans, and you had to like race to be the first person to perfectly power wash that van? That'd be sick. I think that'd be wildly popular. I think that'd be massively popular. No? No, Rand? No?
I mean, no? You never know. It could be. Supernova says, "What's up, guys? Do you expect cooperation between Microsoft and Kojima lead to an acquisition, or Kojima prefers freedom? Hashtag Kojima-san." I think, considering Kojima's record with Konami, I don't think Kojima wants to be acquired. I think he probably likes his freedom because he got to.
I think the opposite.
You think the opposite?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you say, think about Kojima's history with Konami. Exactly. He was with Konami for 25 years or something. He was with Konami since the 80s. So that dude knows how to work within a corporate structure. And yes, Konami treated him badly.
Yes.
But what if Phil makes him an offer he can't refuse?
Mm.
What if Phil and Kojima work so well together that Kojima's just like, you know what? Screw it. We're going to become part of Xbox. And then Death Stranding 2 is an Xbox exclusive.
How'd
like
that
the
work?
Bayonetta situation.
How'd that
I don't
work?
know. Does Sony own the IP to
Yes,
Death Stranding?
They do. Yes.
They do?
Yes.
Or just the console rights?
No, they own the IP.
Well, he could make another game called Meth Banding. That's basically the same, but instead of moving packages, he moves meth. I don't know. That's a bad game idea.
Yeah,
I have loads of really bad game ideas.
Come back with some better ones. Supernova. He says
that's right.
Guyver Ninja Scrolls is greater than all anime. I don't even know idea what that is. Flame.
Oh, Ninja Scroll is great.
Who's been a member for 15 months, says Jez is a filthy casual in the anime world until he knows about the Queen, Marion from My Dress Up Darling, and watched Spy X Family. Also, hi, Rand Uwu. I have no idea.
I am aware of Marin. I am aware of Marin from My Dress Up Darling, but I haven't watched it. But I have watched Spy X Family, which is amazing, and you should watch that too. It's very wholesome, Rand.
Yeah,
it's very wholesome. It's very wholesome. Yeah,
I've never heard of it until now. What else?
Oh, that's because you only like normie things like books and shit.
Jacqueline says, "Gents, what would you bet your bollocks on? Embracer defunct in 10 years or acquired by Amazon or Tencent?" That's it. Okay, so we might as well talk about
that's an interesting
this. Embracer just like shocked the world because their buying spree just continues. Although it's interesting. It's interesting because I guess they had $1 billion influx from Saudi Arabia, one of the princes or whatever. That's where a lot of their money came in recently. So that's always
Saudi Arabian government owns 8%, I think, of Embracer, something like that.
Something like that.
Sizable.
So they acquired a bunch of studios like Tripwire and a few others I don't know the name of. But the big thing, the thing that shocked everybody, including myself, because I was like, huh? Because we had talked about this on a previous episode, because there was the talk that Lord of the Rings rights were up, and that both me and you kind of were like, well, Amazon's going to jump on that because they got the whole, TV show and everything. But no, they didn't. Embracer now owns Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. And they own they own the film rights, they own the game rights, they own the merchandising rights, theme park rights.
Wait. Sorry, I misunderstood this. I thought it was just the gaming rights.
No, they own the movie rights now too. And the gaming rights.
Embracer?
Yes, Embracer. Yes.
Lord of the Rings?
Yes, Embracer.
All of it?
Yes. Well, no. So okay, because then people were sort of confused about the Amazon stuff, but in the it's kind of weird and complicated, but the Embracer stuff, the TV shows, I guess Embracer holds the rights to TV shows that are 4 episodes long, but the Token Estate holds the rights to TV shows that are longer than 4 episodes, so that's where Amazon actually did the deal with the Token Estate to do Rings of Power. So it's kind of like a loophole or whatever. But yeah, so you didn't know that, Jez? You didn't know that that's what...
No. I thought it was just for the games. I thought they were going to have one of their studios and make another Shadow of Mordor or something like that.
I mean, dude, when you buy those rights, I guarantee you they're going to be making more movies and stuff. Hold on, where is this? Embracer. I need to find an article. Okay. Yeah.
Oh man, I am like really confused. Like,
Yeah. So okay,
how does Warner Brothers not own this?
Well,
Didn't
yeah.
Warner Brothers make the movies, the original movies?
Yeah. So the deal will give Embracer Group a vast intellectual property catalog and worldwide rights to the motion pictures, video games, board games, merchandising, theme parks, and stage productions relating to the iconic fantasy literary works, Lord of the Rings trilogy, and The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien.
That is, I'm sorry, but that is absolutely, completely insane.
It is.
I thought that was literally just the games. What? In what universe did Amazon not jump on this? What is Amazon smoking to let that go to Embracer Group? What did Embracer Group do? Did they disclose how much they paid?
I'm not sure. Like, because they also acquired limited run games. You know, limited run games are the people that like do those indie games with the physical releases.
For everyone but Xbox.
Tuxedo Labs and Tripwire Interactive. There was also an acquisition.
Tripwire's pretty good.
There was also an acquisition that was undisclosed for business reasons, but the money would be like their third or fourth highest acquisition in the company history. So I guess like anywhere between 600 to 700 million, but nobody knows what it is.
They said it was a PC studio, right?
It was a PC console studio, yes.
What if it's Paradox? What if it's Paradox? I really wanted Microsoft to get Paradox.
Well, what if it's okay? Well, so people have been sending me this stuff recently that apparently I don't know if this is true. So take this with a grain of salt. But people have sent it to me that licensing for like Mortal Kombat has stopped. So
yeah,
like,
I saw that.
If I would, does that mean Warner Brothers is shopping NetherRealm in Mortal Kombat? You know, I don't.
God, it's all so crazy and confusing. Everything. It really does feel like everything is in flux right now. Don't you think that? Like, studios are being bought left, right, and center. There's deals being done all over the place. Everything's chaos, man. Chaos reigns, baby. Who's next? Who's going to sell next?
Who is next? It could be anybody. It could be you. It could be the Xbox 2.
But Randy was the Xbox 2. We joined Blue Wire Media.
That is. So for anybody listening on the audio versions, iTunes and Spotify, don't freak out because you will hear some ads from our partners at Blue Wire. A couple people reached out to us and were like, "Oh my God, did you guys get hacked?" No. We're partnered with Blue Wire. They were looking to get into games, and we were like, okay, yeah. So it's just audio versions, so you'll hear like 3 ads in each episode now. One at the beginning, one in the middle, and one at the end, I guess. That's the thing was going.
The reason is because Spotify and iTunes and Google were getting our content for free, and we were getting no benefit from it. But Blue Wire helps us get some benefit from it, you know, because it's kind of lame that these billion dollar, $1 trillion companies get the podcast content for nothing, you know. So Blue Wire helps us recoup some of that cost. But anyway, you know, back on topic. And I'll probably insert an ad right here. Anyway, so what were we talking about? We're talking about acquisitions.
The Embracer Group and what they're doing. I mean, like, look, we know.
Going back to the question, his question was, what happens in 10 years? Yes. Embracer Group defunct or sold? And honestly, I've asked around a lot of gaming execs and people who are involved in the industry at a high level. I've asked them, what the hell is Embracer Group's deal? What are they doing? What is their plan? What is their strategy? What is their exit? What is their end game? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Every single person has told me something different. Every single person has told me like a different theory about what they're doing. Because it feels like they're just sort of like buying everything. It feels like there's almost no strategy to it, you know? Like, it's very different to Tencent, where Tencent sort of does similar stuff, but they sort of, instead of buying the studio outright, they sort of buy 49% stakes in service games. So, and that makes a lot of sense because, service games make a lot of money over time and they've got really good margins. And it's a really good investment. It makes a lot of sense. But Embracer Group, they're buying AAA studios that are almost like traditional game devs from the Xbox 360 era, almost going back. Not a lot of service games in there. They're also buying a ton of IP. They bought Lord of the Rings, which is shocking to me. Do they even have a movie studio within their business? It feels like there's no strategy.
Yeah,
it feels just like they're embracing everything.
Well, they even
like
they even talked the night this happened that like they could like go make Lord of the Rings Gandalf or Lord of the Rings Samwise Gamgee movie and like start whoring it out.
You couldn't,
right? Because now they own the rights, which would suck.
That's the thing. Like, you can't do Gandalf without that actor whose name I can't remember right now because I drank too much. What's his name?
Ian McKellen.
Ian McKellen. Yeah.
You recast.
Like, would Ian McKellen do that, or would they recast him and then it'd just be like a crappy knockoff?
You recast him with God, what's his name? The guy who played Magneto in the younger version of himself in X-Men.
Oh, I know what you mean. Oh, God, what's his name? Benedict Cumberbatch?
Benedict.
No. What's his name?
He's an amazing actor. Is James McAvoy was Professor X, and
oh shit, he was in Prometheus.
Yes, he was in Prometheus.
Right?
Yes, he's in a lot of movies.
Someone in chat's gonna get to it before I Google it. But I need to know. Oh God, this isn't Prometheus. This is the Greek mythology Wikipedia page for Prometheus. I can't find it. I'm too drunk. Someone in chat. Michael Fassbender.
There we go. God, the name was on the tip of my tongue. Maybe they cast
Why
Michael.
do I think it's Benedict Cumberbatch? They're both English, right? They're both English.
Yeah, maybe they cast Michael Fassbender as Gandalf in the new Lord of the Rings movies. But
I'll be down for that.
That was the stunner. I was just like, huh? So it's like, yeah, what's their plan? Like, are they getting themselves up, or like Microsoft or Sony or somebody else, and some years from now are just like, all right, well, we're just gonna buy you now, or I don't know either. It doesn't really seem like there's much strategy. Are they just spending money because they have money to spend? And I mean, your guess is as good as mine, man. Well, we got a crazy $50 super chat here from Crazy Lou Gaming. It says, question, with the Disney and Marvel showcase coming up, do you think we will see the rumored Mandalorian game and some gameplay from Indiana Jones? Yeah, Jez, so Disney and Marvel announced they have a gaming showcase on September 9th. Did you see this?
I did see this, and my immediate reaction was, Marvel sucks.
Oh my God, here we go. But it's not it's not just Marvel though. It's
Star Wars.
The showcase will include content from Disney and Pixar games, Marvel games, Lucasfilm games, and 20th Century games. And Indiana Jones is a Lucasfilm game, right? So they also say there'll be all new announcements. Fans can expect new reveals from titles including Disney Dreamlight Valley, Marvel's Midnight Suns, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, and a sneak peek at the upcoming Marvel and Samba game from Skydance New Media, which is Amy Hennig's game, I believe. So people are, speculation town's going crazy, right? They're
Speculation town.
Well, yeah. So it's like, okay, Indiana Jones, right? It is a Lucasfilm game, so
it is.
Could it show up there? Spider-Man 2 from Sony, that's a Marvel game. Could it show up there? My initial thought is that no. Because I still think Sony and Xbox control where those games get shown off. Right? So I would imagine Xbox and Bethesda wants to show off Indiana Jones, and when they do, it will be at one of the Xbox conferences, whether it's E3 next year or the year after or XO or the Game Awards or something. My initial thought is no, we won't see Indiana Jones. I mean, does anybody working on a Mandalorian game? I know there's been rumors that the Coalition are, but I don't believe that rumor. Do you, Jez?
No, I don't believe that rumor. They debunked it themselves.
Well, they said they weren't.
You know,
They weren't working on a Star Wars game. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Mandalorian's about as Star Wars as you can get, right? But Mandalorian is obviously a prime candidate for a shooter, third-person shooter, right? Obviously. And I think, like, they must have looked at Jedi Fallen Order and been like, you know what? Star Wars actually works as a video game. Shocker! You know. So Mandalorian as a game makes complete sense. But I have no idea what could be shown at this show. Indiana Jones? Probably not. Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, they also,
I don't know.
You know,
I could be wrong.
Jeff Grubb talked about the Black Panther game. There's rumor that there's an Iron Man game. There's a lot. I mean, Disney, Massive from Ubisoft has a Star Wars game they're working on. I mean, there's still Star Wars Jedi Survivor from EA that Jeff Grubb said on Twitter today is coming out in March. I mean, there's a lot of things they could show. I just don't think we'll see Indiana Jones because I think Xbox would show that. But, I mean, I'd love to be wrong because I'd love to see it. RDX Son of Fett says, after acquisition is done, Xbox should make an online platformer game where you can play as Raz, Crash, Banjo, Spiral, and more.
It'd be interesting if, Activision actually had a game in the works like that, wouldn't it? Like a sort of a platform brawler, free-to-play multiplayer game called Wumpa League, featuring Crash Bandicoot characters. So that'd be interesting.
So, Jez, are you saying, because Toys for Bob is teasing their next game on Twitter. Toys for Bob is owned by Activision. You've mentioned some Crash game that I've seen screenshots that you've sent me. I haven't seen video, but you've said you have video of it. I've seen screenshots of it, but I haven't seen video. So I can definitely corroborate that it exists because you. So what are you trying to say? Are you trying to say this Crash Bash game or what? Whatever is this? Is this the Toys for Bob game that they're teasing? What's going on? Is this former Wampa League game thing? Is this?
No idea what it's called. Actually, I can tell you the project, the code name, right now. Let me look it up.
Look it up.
Let me go. Look up the code name. Let's look up the code name.
Anybody listening?
Code name.
Sloth, get ready. Anybody else?
Right,
I'm sure any of the Crash fanatics on Reddit. Here you go. Project name incoming.
I think the code name's already out there. The code name's Project Lava, right?
Lava, like LAVA.
Lava, yeah, like a volcano. Lava, and it is a multiplayer brawler, platform brawler. The closest comparison I can make is Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare. So that is the closest comparison I can make. But I swear down, right? After the success of Multiverses, Activision's probably looking at this Project Lava, whatever it is, and probably thinking, we could slap all kinds of characters in here,
Yeah, but is this a 3D game or a 2D game? Like
it's 3D.
So it's
3D.
It's not like a Smash Brothers clone.
No, it's like I say, the closest comparison that I can make looking at it is Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare. But even that is hard because it honestly looks like nothing I've ever seen. It's very, very different. So, is that the kind of game that could get Spyro and other sort of characters? Maybe. But it could also be like in testing, they find out that people don't like it that much. The last time I heard about this game and the footage I've got from it is from a good 6 months ago. I haven't seen anything of it. And Jonathan Dockery in chat says, like Bleeding Edge. Actually, yeah, kind of like Bleeding Edge, except that it's objective based. So I think like you have to score points and do stuff like that. I don't think it's necessarily a fighting game, but the characters do have like abilities and they can fight each other, and you can spawn things like in Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare. So it's really hard to describe because it's not like anything else I've seen. And I don't want to put the footage out there because it's alpha footage and it'll give you a bad impression of the game, you know. So I'd rather they release it themselves when it's good and ready. But maybe this is the game they're teasing. But like I say, the footage that I've got is from a good 6 months ago or even longer, maybe. And apparently this is the game. Project Lava is the game they were working on before the pandemic dropped. And then the studio was kind of like pivoted away from Project Lava to work on Call of Duty. Apparently, is what I heard. And I can't confirm that. But from what I heard is that they had to work on Call of Duty because Call of Duty was all this, like, you know, a mess and stuff like that. So they bought it was like all hands on deck to save Call of Duty, which put Project Lava on hold. But then they've since gone back to it to finish it off. And maybe that's the game Toys for Bobby's teasing. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
And I have no idea why we even segued into that. Someone asked in chat, right?
Yeah, I think so. Straw Hat says Phil spending $70 billion on Activision and not the Peppa Pig IP is the biggest L in the company's history. I mean,
I swear to God, right? Microsoft should acquire the IP to Peppa Pig. They should, and they should take the budget from 343 and put it towards Peppa Pig games.
Oh, jeez.
In fact, 343 should be converted to a Peppa Pig studio. No, Rand?
343 should be converted to a Peppa Pig studio?
Yeah, you could have Peppa Pig Battle Royale. Or, actually, no, I think Peppa Pig would be better for a hero shooter. You could have, like, Daddy Pig with special abilities and Mommy Pig with special abilities. Stuff like that. No, Rand?
I don't even want to...
Your silence is deafening.
I don't even want to... 3-4... Why is it always 343 with you?
Because I'm mad. I'm mad at 343, man. I'm mad at them, Rand. They took all the money that could have gone to Gears of War. Okay? They took all the money.
Yeah.
But that being said, Forge Mode looks pretty good, man. I'm actually kind of excited for Forge Mode. Is that weird? Some of the stuff that people have been doing with Forge Mode
is really, really incredible. Yes.
I think Forge Mode is going to be massive. Looking at what they've done with the a leaked beta version, a data mined beta version, is absolutely nuts. Some of the stuff they've been doing. You know, screw it. They could make Peppa Pig in Forge Mode.
Will you stop talking about that game? Jesus. Ugh.
They could make...
I cringe every single time.
Rand, what if some crazy Forge wizards revive Scalebound in Forge Mode? How about that?
So we're basically 343 created dreams within Halo Infinite, is what you're saying?
Yeah. And someone takes... You could take a pelican, right? And that could be the dragon. In Forge Mode. And they could make Halo Scalebound. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, everyone.
It's all right.
I'm sorry.
Are you drunk? Are you drinking?
I'm drinking, yeah. Kraken spiced rum.
No wonder.
It's very nice.
We're getting leaks and stuff.
Oh my God. Kraken is 40%? Kraken is 40%. It's so smooth that I thought it was like 20%. But Kraken is actually 40%. And that's why I'm really drunk now. I apologize profusely. Continue, Rand. Continue to host the podcast.
Me Puppet 007 says, didn't increase the group buy or already own Aspire. You should play Peppa Pig just to irritate people. There was some... in their conference call, Embracer did say that they recently moved a AAA game from one studio to another, and they don't really expect any delays. Pretty sure the game they're talking about there is they took Knights of the Old Republic away from Aspire, and they probably gave it to Saber. Probably. Saber. At least that was the rumors that were going on, and I thought I saw Jason Schreier, like, because PC Gamer ran an article, was like, Knights of the Republic maybe can come out this year, and Jason Schreier retweeted and was like, Knights of the Republic is definitely not coming out this year. It's like, yeah,
Didn't he say? He said 2024 was optimistic. Didn't
well, I mean,
he?
like
Something like that.
you just like take the game and just uproot it and give it to somebody else. Yeah, that's not gonna. There's gonna be some some delays over that. So, Sebastian says, "Hey Rand, Apple will charge you Netflix tax in Chicago." Huh? What's that? What's Netflix tax?
Apple Netflix tax.
Apple will
Netflix
charge you
tax.
Netflix tax. What is that? Apple Netflix.
Apple. Ooh. I'll tell you what that is, Rand. Apple will start collecting Netflix tax in September. Apple will begin collecting taxes on Apple TV Plus subscriptions within Chicago as part of its settlement relating to the city's 2015 amusement tax. In July, Apple gave up its 4-year fight against Chicago's so-called Netflix tax. Tax requires tech giant to pay 9% tax on streaming service income earned from Chicago subscribers, and they're passing that tax on to you. Only if you subscribe.
In regards to what, though? How are they
Apple
charging?
Plus.
So the cost of Apple. So the cost of.
So if you have Apple Plus, you have to pay an extra 9% in Chicago.
Because normally it's $5, so I'm gonna have to pay an extra 50 cents.
Do you subscribe to Apple Plus?
I think I have Apple Plus. I think I had it for free
What's wrong with you?
I don't know.
What is wrong with you, Rand?
I have a lot of streaming.
You're such an Apple fan.
I don't stream Netflix. I mean, whatever. I don't even know.
You're an Apple fanboy. That's what you.
No, I'm not. I'm definitely not. Achievement says, Jez, I'm drinking bullet bourbon. Have you had it?
I have not. I have not had that. I'm going to Google it, though, and put it on my wish list. If it's available in Germany. A lot of alcohol is not available in Germany. Did you know, Rand, that Slipknot does their own whiskey?
Slipknot does?
Slipknot has its own whiskey. Oh, actually, I have had a Bullet bourbon. I have had it, actually. Someone bought it me as a gift 1 million years ago. And it's very nice. I actually prefer bourbon to scotch. I think Americans do it better, frankly.
Dan Becker says, why are you guys so into console wars? Calling Sony evil during last week's show. You guys are part of the problem with the gaming discourse today. What?
Did we call Sony evil?
I mean, if we did call Sony evil, it was literally jokingly.
It's probably a joke, yeah.
And
I couldn't. Capitalist. I'm a capitalist, right? I am a capitalist through and through. And I think Sony is well within their right to be capitalistic. And that's all they're doing. I don't think Sony's evil at all. You know, I mean, I think
you were
competition
the one,
in the gaming industry is great.
You were the one when we were talking about it that wouldn't even give me a spicy take. You were just like, whatever, man, it's business, whatever.
It's business.
I know.
It's capitalism, baby.
I find it interesting because it's
capitalism.
You don't normally see this sort of stuff happening. So, if we said evil, it was definitely in a facetious, joking manner. You know?
Facetious.
Yeah, whatever. You know exactly what I'm saying. And I don't know. The idea that we're part of the problem of gaming discourse.
Part of the problem.
I guess. I mean, Dan Becker says we're part of the problem of the gaming discourse. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the problem is when you're joking on the internet. People can they can strip out the joke and take it out of context, and then they can use it in a console war. I actually love Sony. I grew up on fucking PlayStation. Literally, PlayStation is the reason I love gaming. Final Fantasy VII, Nightmare Creatures, all these games. Like, man, what was that? What was that brawler that was on PlayStation back in the day? Fighting Force or something like that? Am I getting it mixed up with something else? I don't know. But I like Raystorm. There's like loads. I had dozens and dozens of PlayStation games that were so much cheaper than Nintendo games. Like, even in the 90s, in my town, Nintendo was selling games for $80 in my town. And I don't know if that's because they were getting marked up because they were scarce or something. But PlayStation games were so much cheaper And as a kid, it was just like, I can either pay like $80 for a Nintendo 64 game, Fighting Force. Thank you, Joe Sinister. And Wipeout. Was also an amazing game with an amazing soundtrack by Orbital, a great electronica band. But I do not think Sony's evil. I actually love Sony, and I love everything they do. It's just these days, I've gone towards Xbox because that's where the value is. That's where my Game Pass is. Maybe I'm just cheap. I'm just cheap. And I think like in the 360 gen, it was when Sony stopped being the value proposition that I switched over. And that's, Sony was trying to sell me a console for $500 or whatever it was. And then Xbox was like, here's the Xbox 360 arcade. It's a lot cheaper, And I was like, okay, I'll get that instead. And then I haven't looked back. So I think a lot of people my age switched to 360 during that era and then never looked back. But then like last gen, PlayStation 4 was the value proposition.
Yep.
Because they didn't bundle Kinect. And they had a more powerful system that was cheaper. So PlayStation offered the value proposition. So when you strip back all this console war stuff, at the end of the day, it only matters who's offering the value. Right now, Xbox Game Pass, Xbox Series S, I think Xbox is offering the value. So, And yeah. And Painful Discord says, bro, if you love Nightmare Creatures, you've got to play Bloodborne. Yeah, man, I know. Like, Bloodborne is like the number one PlayStation game that I am desperate to come to PC just so I can get my hands on it.
And yet they won't bring it to PC. They won't bring it to PC for whatever reason.
They will eventually.
I don't know. You think they'd done it by now?
That Bloodborne demake, the Bloodborne PSX on PC, was amazing. Did you ever play that? The Bloodborne demake on PC?
No, I mean I played Bloodborne, but I didn't play the demake. I don't play anything.
The demake was so good.
You know what? The last game I played on my PC was Among Us.
Among Us?
Yeah, I played Among Us on PC before it came to Xbox. That's it. That's all I've played on my PC. Just Among Us.
Yeah, I don't know. I think people take the console war too damn seriously. Like you can't even make jokes. You can't even make harmless jokes because people take it all so seriously and and personally. But at the end of the day, it only matters where the value is, and also doubly at the end of the day, I'm an adult and I work full time. So I can afford both consoles anyway if I wanted to. Sony keeps sending me emails, Rand, saying like, you've been selected to buy a PlayStation.
Ooh.
Yeah, and you can because they've got that whole queuing system.
Yeah.
On their website, and they keep selecting me to be in their queuing system, but I can't buy one because I've lost my phone number that's attached to my two-step verification, so I can't sign into the bloody website. Oh, but I swear to God, I'm going to buy a PlayStation 5 at some point. And I'm probably going to rock Bloodborne. I'm probably going to rock The Last of Us remake, Because like people in chat saying, Bloodborne's probably never coming to PC.
But I mean, why would you do that? Sony's evil.
Yeah, because Sony's evil, apparently. Yeah. The only company I think is truly evil is Apple.
We know the companies you hate. Meta,
Apple, Google, Tencent, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's probably some other companies like WeWork. Apparently, they were pretty evil. And what was that? What was that other company? Enron. Do you remember Enron?
Yeah. Yes, I remember Enron. Yes,
Enron was evil. Enron was pretty evil. A lot of people lost a lot of money because of Enron.
Yeah, they sure did. Yes, they did.
The CCP, they're evil. Oh, wow. Sorry, Rand. I just got your podcast demonetized.
I don't think anybody. Well, I wonder if anybody listens to the show in China. Do we have anybody in chat?
I don't know.
We have anybody in chat listening from China?
Oh God, I hope not.
Alvin says, wouldn't Sony and Microsoft want their games shown at D23? More eyes there than either of their own shows, because D23 is massive. I mean, maybe. I mean, you could be right. Maybe both Sony and Microsoft are like, here's Spider-Man 2, and here's, Indiana Jones. I wonder whose decision that would be. Like, could Lucasfilm be like, we're doing this showcase and Indiana Jones is a part of it? Like, who makes the final decision on that? Like, oh no, we want to show off Spider-Man 2. Like, is it up to Marvel? I would imagine it's up to like Sony and Microsoft. I would imagine it's up to whoever is making the game and funding it. I don't know. Maybe I don't know anything about it. Maybe it's possible. Maybe we do see some of that stuff.
Mm.
Let's see. We got says Afro-American says he's from China. So
as long as you're not part of the Chinese government, Chinese people are awesome. Chinese government, not so much.
Our buddy Special Nick in the super chat says, "Let Sam Witwer play Deacon in the Days Gone TV show." Did you hear about this, Jez? Because it just kind of broke before we did the podcast.
Broke.
Yeah,
it just broke. There's going to be a Days Gone TV show
or Days Gone movie, Days Gone TV show.
Days Gone movie.
Even though Days Gone wasn't good enough to get a sequel, but yet they're gonna somehow continue, make a movie. And even though they used the character of Sam, what's his name? I forget.
It's Deacon, isn't it?
Yeah, Deacon.
His name's Deacon.
His name's Deacon. Like, even though he's an actor and has been in a whole bunch of stuff, they could just cast him. They'll just somebody else. It's like, okay, sure. That is very, very weird. Shit,
man. Cast the right bloody guy, man. Man, I honestly was really enjoying Days Gone when I was playing it, but I just didn't finish it for whatever reason. Yeah, I think the problem, the one problem with me in PC gaming is the distractions. Like when you're playing a game on Xbox, it's like there's no distractions. But when I'm playing a game on PC, I constantly get pop-ups from work. I get pop-ups from emails that I need to reply to. And I end up getting distracted. And I don't know. I just can't focus. I have a really big issue with focus. Man, this podcast is going all over the place. It's going all over the place. What is wrong with the structure of this podcast, Rand? And you as the host?
It's not me. You're the one going off the walls because you're drinking.
I'm just blaming you. It's all your fault, Rand. You're meant to be the responsible, sober one hosting the podcast.
You're the one just going off the rails here. I can't stop you. I'll just let you talk. You can keep on talking. Just make sure you don't leak things. Just make sure you don't leak things you're not supposed to leak.
Like what?
I don't know. Whatever you're not supposed to.
Like the Blizzard survival game?
I mean, you already talked about that before.
What if I posted the gameplay footage on Twitter? Would that be a bad leak? Would that get me in trouble?
You probably would. Mike Ibarra and Rod Ferguson would yell at you. What about your Windows Central gaming tweet where they said all of our stuff is going to be cosmetics and not pay to win, and you were like, "Sure, Jan." I know that was you that tweeted that.
Yeah, I need to apologize to Samuel Tolbert because Samuel Tolbert wrote this great article just sort of summarizing what's going on with Diablo 4, and then I just dropped underneath, "Sure, Jan." It's funny because like everyone sort of contributes to Windows Central Gaming Twitter, and yeah, and
I knew it was you.
I just ruin it.
Do you honestly think that they're going to somehow screw up Diablo 4 like that and make it pay to win? I mean, come on, Diablo Immortal is a mobile game. Like, you expect that sort of stuff in there. Like, I would be absolutely shocked if there was any of that stuff in Diablo 4. I guarantee you it's just going to be cosmetics and whatever. That'd be it.
No, I agree that it's going to be cosmetics, right? But the thing is, Blizzard is tricksy. They're tricksy hobbitses. They're tricksy hobbitses, Rand. Blizzard is tricksy, right? And I'll tell you why. If I tell you that, does World of Warcraft have a reputation for being pay to win?
Does World of Warcraft have a... I don't know. I don't know anything about World of Warcraft.
But does it have... Have you ever heard that World of Warcraft's pay to win?
No, I don't think I've ever heard that.
Exactly. However, you can buy in-game gold in World of Warcraft. A lot of it. Now, Blizzard says that the reason they offer gold to buy with real money is to stop gold sellers and scammers. but it kind of screws up the economy if richer people can buy a ton of gold, right? And also in World of Warcraft, there's a lot of mounts you can buy and a lot of pets you can buy. And some of these pets are very powerful in pet PvP, which is a thing, you know. So it's kind of like, it's kind of like they're kind of tricky when it comes to talking about this stuff. Like, for example, in Diablo Immortal, they said that you couldn't buy gear with real money in Diablo Immortal, but then the game comes out and you kind of can buy gear with real money, if you count gems as gear. So it's kind of like they twisted the language when they say there's not going to be any pay to win, and you're not going to be able to pay for power, And I just kind of I just don't believe them. I don't believe them. I feel like they will sort of find some way to make it so a purchase is more compelling than just a standard cosmetic. I feel like Blizzard will figure out some way of doing that. So until we actually see the store, I'm gonna, not believe them for the time being. So yeah, there's that.
All right.
I don't know.
Well, shout out to Xbox One PlayStation Lost for the super chat. He says Jeff Scrub called you two out yesterday with a bunch of laughing and clown emojis.
Did he?
Jeff Grub. He's amazing. What would the Grub have to call us out about?
It is an honor to be called out by Jeff Grub.
Yes.
I just want him to abuse me. What?
What? Excuse me?
I need another drink. Fucking hell.
Jesus, another one?
I probably shouldn't drink anymore. But no, what, Jeff Grubb called us out for what? For what? What? Nah, I think this guy's just trying to stir.
Yeah.
I think this guy, Xbox Lost, is
no. His name is Xbox One PlayStation Lost.
Oh, Xbox One PlayStation Lost. Well,
yeah.
I think this guy often comes into Jeff Grubb's chat, donates money to troll. I think he's kind of famous for it. So whatever.
I mean, it's an honor to get mentioned by Jeff Grubb. So
it is,
even if it's bad.
It is,
even if it's really bad. Yeah. What else we got here? All right, let's get into the juiciness. Death Stranding coming to Game Pass. So the PC Game Pass Twitter account was basically teasing something all week with a photo of some landscapes that some people were like, that's Starfield, bro. That's Starfield, and it's just like, no, that kind of looks like Death Stranding. And then, yeah, sure enough, within, I don't know, an hour posting it, people had, already found the location because it was in the beginning of the game. And then people were like, what? Is this possible? And then today it was officially announced, Death Stranding, not the director's cut, though, I guess. We'll be heading to PC Game Pass on August 23rd, which is Tuesday. And, the conversations it's opened up. Very interesting. People upset. You have a lot of people who called Death Stranding a piece of trash and a 4K walking sim that are suddenly screaming from the rooftops that we got it, and then of course then you have the people who said it was Game of the Year 2019 and redefined video games and was genre defying that are suddenly it was never any good. It was horrible. Kojima's betrayed us, and I don't know if you've seen some of that stuff, but it is woo! Suffices to say, but people have lost their shit today about this. So, woo.
I haven't seen much actual shit losing, but I also have 10,000 people blocked.
You do have a lot of people blocked. Just go on Kojima's tweet and just scroll through it. There are definitely people losing their shit.
Okay. Should we read some out?
Uh,
Kojima English. Let's read some out. Let's have a look. See.
the thing is,
Kojima has he has an English Twitter
yes,
account
he does.
too, right?
Thing is, I actually played Death Stranding when it came out, and I actually quite liked it. In fact, I think I gave it like an 8.5 or like an 8. And it's a game where you just walk. Really, you just delivering them packages. Remember, if you want to be like Sam Porter Bridges and you want to have those clean and dry balls when you're walking across the United States of America, you don't want that
Dry
swamp
ball.
ass. Manscaped.com is there for you for the Boxers 2.0 or the regular Boxers. You can always use the code XB2 to get 20% off. Be like Sam Porter Bridges. Because, delivering those packages, a lot of that walking, evading the BTs, it's got to chafe a little bit, right?
Of course you like this.
But bro, I went in like, I like Kojima's games. Don't get me wrong. Love Metal Gear. So like, I was like, all right, you know what? I like his games. I'm gonna play it. But like all the gameplay trailers, I was like, I don't know. There's just something about that game, something soothing about just kind of walking down like the mountains, trying to like control your body so you don't fall, and then Kojima picks these amazing songs that play. Oh my god, just the beginning of the game when you finally like the credits kind of start to roll and like I think Low Roar starts to play.
Low
and
Roar,
like, oh my god, this is
that
incredible.
from that game. Dude, I discovered Low Roar because of Death Stranding. Low Roar is an amazing band. I was enjoying it. I don't know why I stopped playing it. I think it's your fault.
It's my fault, yeah.
It's literally your fault. You incepted me. You inceptioned me and planted a thought in my head that I needed to quit when I hit chapter 3. But now it's on Game Pass. And now it's got Xbox achievements. I will finish it.
Yes.
I've been looking through these tweets, Rand.
Okay.
And honestly, most people are quite positive about it, at least on the English Twitter. I found one tweet. Traitor Kojima, sad face.
Ooh.
You must also like Nintendo.
Interestingly, you heard about this a year ago.
I did.
And I remember you telling me about this, and I was just like, huh? And that's no joke. Like, I have the DMs where Jez is like, what would you think about Death Stranding coming to PC Game Pass? Like, literally, what was that? Like March of last year or April of last year? Because you had heard that was a possible. Well, plus, Phil on his infamous shelf, he had the Luden statue right next to him. Yeah, tell the people about it. Tell the people about it.
I wasn't going to say anything, right? Because there's this whole trope about influencers claiming they knew shit.
Claiming. Yeah. I have the DMs.
That was happening.
I could post.
Yeah. So I didn't know. I couldn't remember if I DM'd you or we just talked about it on Discord before a show or something. But someone teased me that a deal for Death Stranding PC Game Pass was in the works a year ago. And I was just like, could that actually happen? But I wasn't going to say anything because influencers, air quotes, they often do that. They say, oh, I heard about this months ago, But, if you've got the DMs to prove it, then fair enough. But I wasn't going to say anything. But I didn't believe it. I just thought, like, it was, spitballing, kind of like, could it happen? Because 505 Games owns the rights to the PC version, separate from Sony, blah, 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 blah. And then Phil had the shelf,
Yeah.
But I wasn't as surprised as maybe some other people were, put it that way. But I'm going to play it. One of the questions that a lot of people are asking is, can this come to Xbox? And Rand, what do you think?
No.
Could it come to Xbox?
No.
Or is there going to be some sort of airtight contract in place?
I'm sure there's some I think the only reason it's coming to PC Game Pass is because 505 Games publishes it.
Wow,
Like
I'm lagging.
this was before Sony started publishing. Oh, Jez dropped in and now he's back in, back out. You right there? Oh, I don't know if he can hear us now. Well, I'll just continue talking, but what was I saying? I completely forgot
I
what I
don't
was
know
saying.
if I'm lagging or Rand is lagging.
I mean, nobody said anything in chat. I mean, Discord seems fine. I mean, I hear you. Can you not hear me? I mean, nobody's said anything. I don't know. Can you guys hear me? Nobody's. You guys hear me? Let me type that in chat. Is Jez lagging or is it me? Yeah, everybody says we sound. Oh, some people are saying that you sound like you're lagging, but people are saying you hear both. But some people are saying you're lagging.
Rand, can you hear me?
I hear you. Yeah. I think people are saying that they can't hear you. That you're lagging. Time to restart your PC. So I'll just let's see. Where were we? Take it from the top here about this whole situation about Death Stranding on PC. Basically, I think the only reason it is.
I got 500 megs down, but I can't hear Rand.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Come on, Jez. Restart your PC and come back in. Anyways, Jez will just, he'll say something and it'll completely break my train of thought. But I was saying, I think the only reason this is happening is because 505 Games published it on PC, which probably gives them some sort of leeway or at least legal rights to where the game can actually go to. Maybe after some sort of time, right? There's like a time frame where after this amount of time, maybe you could bring it here. Because I would imagine, Death Stranding came to PC before Sony really started publishing their own games, right? Like if you look at God of War and if you look at Horizon Zero Dawn and if you look at Spider-Man, all those games are published by Sony themselves. For whatever reason, they didn't publish Death Stranding. Hello?
Dude!
Hello?
It's my headphones. It was my headphones that were lagging, not me.
Okay. So is everything good now?
Everything seems to be okay at the moment.
Well, that's good. I was just saying
Bluetooth, man. Bluetooth.
I was just saying that realistically, the only reason it's coming to PC Game Pass is because 505 Games is publishing it. If Sony published it on PC, it wouldn't. Yeah. It would. I don't think it would come over.
You know what I want to believe, Rand?
What do you want to believe?
I want to believe that there's a kumbaya developing between PlayStation and Xbox, and there is an amount of money that Microsoft can offer that gets PlayStation games on PC Game Pass. What if there is? What if there's just there is a sum that Xbox can pay to be like, yeah, you know what, PlayStation, Xbox, we're now bros. Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, etc. They're all now on PC Game Pass. What if, man? What if Microsoft just drops $1 billion on that shit? And Sony's just like, we can't refuse. It's $1 billion.
Nah.
It's $1 billion.
$1 billion, that would be... Why would you... That'd be dumb. That'd be stupid. Mega Chris wants to know... He wants to know why MLB The Show came to Xbox console. Because MLB is publishing the Nintendo Switch and Xbox console versions. Sony's not. So that's how... I mean, also, MLB owns the rights. They're licensing it. I would imagine they probably force Sony to make it multi-plat, but MLB is the one who publishes it on Xbox console, which is why it's in Game Pass, because MLB is the publisher, and they're the ones that makes the deals, very much like 505 Games, the publisher of this. So I do wonder if Sony's a little bit kind of like looking at it a little bit side-eyed and be like, well, that's the last time you publish one of our games. Because this is I don't know, if you looked on Twitter today, every like Xbox personality or every Xbox employee was talking about this. Now you can say, oh, anybody who's wanted to play Death Stranding has already played it. It's been out on PlayStation 4. It's got a PS5 version. There's a director's cut. It's in Sony's own subscription service. It's on Steam. It's been on there for 2 years. Anybody who's wanted to play Death Stranding has already played it. And like, fine, that's a fair enough point. But what this really does is this really just shines a spotlight on PC Game Pass and kind of, in a way, makes Sony kind of look... what's the right word I'm looking for? They kind of makes them look...
Come on. Use your words, Rand.
I don't want to say like incompetent, but like no, like that,
incompetent.
That like Xbox pulled one over them, right? Like, how do you get a game on your subscription service how does Sony allow a game? I mean, it's kind of the same argument with MLB. It's like Sony funded that game. It uses freaking Gorilla's, Decima engine, and it ends up on their competitor's PC store. So to me, it's not so much like, oh, everybody's played. It's really about, look at the spotlight. It's shining on. Look, everybody's talking about PC Game Pass and talking about Xbox today. So like, whatever they paid for it, even if not many people play it, right? It's probably worth it just from marketing alone, because look how many articles were written today and in the lead up all this week talking about it. It's like worth it just from the marketing alone, at least in my eyes. What about you? What do you think?
I agree. It's the discourse, the trending on Twitter, the podcasts talking about it. It's sort of what it does is it creates an impression that Microsoft is damn serious about PC Game Pass. Like, even if like most people have played it, the fact that it's sort of like it sends a signal to the hardcore crowd that, landing Death Stranding for PC Game Pass probably required a degree of political maneuvering. Like I say, we heard about this potentially last year. Potentially. I'm not saying for certain it was in the works for a whole damn year, but maybe it was, and that's a lot of work. If it has been in the works for over a year to make this deal happen, that's a serious amount of effort that they've put in, because PC Game Pass is a massive growth area, massive opportunity for Xbox. And, I did review the app and I said it was bad, but it is bad. Like, for the life of me, I don't know why there's a community tab in it when we've also got the game bar. And there's also posts shared by friends, but you can only share posts if you're on a console. What is this design? Who thought this was a good idea? I don't know. But for downloading PC games and launching PC games, it works. Even though like a lot of the extra features are kind of lame and they're kind of buggy, they're kind of slow. The chat is really damn slow, and I think it's powered by Skype, which is why it's damn slow. At least it can install and run games, And there's obviously like a massive opportunity here. We've also got the Riot deal coming down the pipeline, where like if you subscribe to PC Game Pass, you also get all the content in Valorant and League of Legends and all that kind of stuff. There's obviously a huge opportunity here with PC gamers. And landing Death Stranding has got people talking. It's got articles being generated. So I agree with you completely that like the marketing alone is great. And I think that's why Microsoft's for it ultimately. Like, even if like a lot of people don't try Death Stranding as a result of this deal because they've already played it or they've already decided that, you know, it's not for them or whatever, it's generated a lot of conversation. But at the same time, I also think like people would try Death Stranding because Death Stranding is a weird game. It is a weird game, Rand. Death Stranding is weird. Do you agree with me that Death Stranding is weird?
I mean, there's really no other game like it. That's for sure. Yeah.
It's the kind of game that you don't want to pay to try out, right? So it's kind of like the ideal Game Pass game. You know, if you're gonna pay $1 to become a new Game Pass subscriber just to try out Death Stranding, and then maybe you explore the service and see like, oh, all the Bethesda games are here, all the EA Play games are here. Well, that's on Game Pass Ultimate. But there's a lot of games in the service. There's like 441 games in Game Pass Ultimate. I don't know how many exactly are in there with just PC Game Pass, but there's like 400. There's over 400 PC games in there with Game Pass Ultimate. That's a lot of damn games. And people might come in for Death Stranding just to try it out of curiosity. And then they might stick around. They might stick around, baby. Because PC gamers are very engaged. And I think like Microsoft is sending a message with this whole deal. Well, yeah, even if Death Stranding itself isn't the most compelling game, they're sending a message. Dude, I'm so wasted.
Like Nomad says, an underrated part of Game Pass is the excitement it creates. Always surprises. Never would have expected Death Stranding to come to the service. And yeah, that's pretty true. Leonardo says, great. Next week we're going to have someone whining that Jez and Rand are part of the problem because they called Sony incompetent. Hold on. I didn't actually use that word. I said like a word like incompetent. When I said like it seems like they got someone like Xbox pulled one over them, right?
This is a backtrack.
Not that they're incompetent.
Yeah.
They're evilly incompetent. Incompetent.
They're evil and incompetent.
Yeah. Achievement says, who published Kenna on PlayStation? Yeah, Kenna has its 1-year anniversary next month, and they announced some stuff for it today. I believe they self-published on PlayStation. They announced
believe it.
They announced the Steam version, but no Xbox version. So, you know, Sony likes to do these long deals, especially games that do well for them. They usually like to lock them up, so you never know. Like, that's the thing. Like, Kenna, Sifu, like some of these games, like you don't know when they'll ever come, if they'll come to Xbox or ever. Like, we're finally getting the Pathless on Xbox, and that was a launch title for the PS5. Basically 2 years later, and it's like 2 years later, like these deals Sony cuts are, you know, ruthless. Like, for the time length on them. Microsoft is out here being like, all right, well, 3 months is good enough, I guess, for the Ascent and Death's Door and stuff. 4 months, 5 months, 2 months, whatever. Sony's out here being like a year and a half, 2 years. Never. Final Fantasy VII Remake, you know what I mean? Like, everybody's like, Final Fantasy VII Remake's gonna come a year after. And then the year came and then nothing. And it came, like, all right, this 2 years later at E3, remember this was gonna be the time. And all they announced was the Steam version. Everybody's like, well, fuck you, Square Enix. You never know. You never know with these deals, man.
It's. I think someone said it in chat that like it creates excitement. The surprises, right?
Yes,
does create excitement. You never know what's going to happen. And I think like when you say like Sony cut a 2-year deal for the Pathless, do we actually think that they cut a 2-year deal? And maybe they just cut a 1-year deal, but then like the port took another year. You have to remember these are like smaller devs, right?
Yeah, maybe so they cut a year and a half deal. I mean, yeah, it's possible. Q-Tang Clan says, Jez, I don't mind you drinking, but I feel weird as a listener when you bring up how wasted you are.
Yeah, fuck. I'm sorry, man. I didn't know that it was 40%. I genuinely thought it was like 20%.
That's the thing.
However, I think wasted. Does wasted have a different connotation in America than the UK?
I mean, wasted means you're just really drunk. That's what it means.
I'm not that drunk. I'm still coherent, and I don't feel like I'm going to throw up. So
well, That's the thing.
something.
So when Jez drinks,
something.
anybody who's been listening to the show and has been around when Jez drinks, he knows Jez always says, "Man, I'm wasted." Just like how when he talks regularly, he's like, he'll say something. He's like, "I don't know, maybe," he does his vocal fillers.
Yeah, I'm actually not that drunk. I'm a little bit drunk.
Dead Planet
But
says
it's also,
the optics
it's
of
Friday, Rand.
It is Friday, and the optics of putting the Xbox
Friday.
logo by Death Stranding is worth it, and indeed, it is worth it. Glitch
Did
Doctor,
you see?
who's been a member for 23 months, says Death Stranding on PC Game Pass even supports Xbox achievements, which is kind of hilarious. Yeah, I didn't think it would get the achievements, and they're there, and it's like, whew, I'd like to have those on my account instead of on my PlayStation account that I don't care about. You know what I mean? You gonna get those achievements, Jez?
I am gonna get the achievements, and someone with regards to what Dead Planet said, optics supporting Xbox logo by Death Stranding is worth it. I thought it was the graphic they made on the socials was really good. The graphic they showed where it was like Sam Porter Bridges with a package, and then there's like an Xbox Game Pass flyer stuck to the side of the package. I thought that was really, really nicely done. And the way they've sort of built this up and teased it, like they showed the landscape, and a lot of people were like, that looks like Death Stranding. But hang on, Death Stranding is a PlayStation game. That can't be Death Stranding. So like it created speculation, right? I remember actually seeing conversations on my own timeline where some people were like, there's no way Death Stranding's going to come to PC Game Pass because it's Sony's game. Sony owns the IP, blah, 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 and all this. I actually saw those conversations literally on my Twitter from pretty prominent content creators as well, debating this back and forth. So they started creating speculation with this like a few days ago, and then like they changed their banner and created more speculation. They had the black rain, and then it was almost like, oh my god, it's actually happening, And then they dropped that graphic with the package and the flyer on it. It was really great marketing, and I think it exemplifies your point, Rand, that even if it doesn't create a huge amount of engagement for the service, it has been amazing marketing.
Yeah.
It has been truly amazing marketing, especially when you've got the social team working in tandem with the team that got the game in the library in the first place. It's amazing marketing.
I wonder, I
bet
you...
It's kind of awkward, Rand.
The what? Sorry,
what's
awkward?
I'm just going to say, it's kind of awkward that I dropped my PC Game Pass review on the same day.
Yeah, it is. I was going to say...
That's a pure coincidence.
You got to imagine Kojima and 505 Games are probably really happy with this because now people are talking about Death Stranding again. And nobody's talked about Death Stranding since, it launched. I mean, maybe some people were talking about when the director's cut came out, but... the discussion surrounding Death Stranding's dead. Now everybody's talking about it again, and people are going to play it. And then you got the PlayStation fans talking about it, because they're upset, right? And the Xbox fans being like,
this is part of the business, and this is like in the digital era, this is what you can do with the content you've made. If you've built a game and it's digital, you can like repackage it and sell it again, and you can give it this sort of long tail sell through, which will eventually, like, even if like it doesn't sell that great at launch, you can repackage it as a director's cut, which they've done. You can repackage it as an ultimate edition, which other games have done. You can repackage it again as part of the subscription service. You can do a lot of things in the digital era to make a return on that investment, or double down on the profits and stuff. Back in the day, when you could only make a game and slap it on a physical medium like a CD or a cartridge or something like that, it was kind of like you release it and that's it. You can't add any DLC. You can't like sell it again that effectively. There was no social media and stuff like that. So this is like, it's just part of the strategy these days. And I think increasingly, game devs are seeing PC Game Pass as another aspect of their long-term strategy to monetize their games. In the last gen we saw ultimate editions. This gen we're going to see ultimate editions and a lump sum from PC Game Pass and stuff like that. So we're going to see other games do this down the line, no doubt about it. And I wouldn't be surprised if Microsoft specifically targets these kind of games that gets people talking. Controversial kind of games. Controversy. How do you say controversy?
Controversy. Yes.
Controversy.
Yeah.
You're going to see lots of controversy from PC Game Pass over the next year or so.
I see a bunch of people talking about Deathloop, and they haven't talked about it at Quakecon yet, as far as I know. No. We still have Gamescom. The 1 year anniversary is coming up here soon, September 14th. I was thinking about it. Does it really make sense for Microsoft to just, if they literally can't talk about it to the 14th, right? If they're literally legally bound not to mention it, does it make much sense for them to shadow drop it the next day that they can? Or does it make more sense to hold it and then actually give some marketing to a studio that they own and say, okay, Arcane's Deathloop, Definitive Edition is coming to Xbox, November 20th or something, or October, because everybody's waiting with bated breath, because a lot of people want to play Deathloop, because, I don't think it sold very well. Everybody's kind of thinking everybody's thinking it's coming out like September 15th or whatever day it came out. Like, they're thinking that next day it's going to drop. But I think Microsoft can't even mention it until the deal's over. And there's a part of me that's just like, are they just going to shadow drop it? Like, all right, if it came out the 14th, well, let me look to see what day Deathloop actually came out on. So Deathloop, let's see. When did that launch? I want to say it was September 14th. I did not have Deathloop here. Where's the release date? I really got to type in the release date to get it here. Oh, yeah. So it did come out September 14th, right? So...
But Rand, are we all not just assuming that the deal was for 1 year? What if it was for a year and a half?
Sure. I mean, nobody knows.
Do we have any proof that it was just for a year, or are we just assuming?
I mean, people will bring up the image at the end of the trailers that say, can't be in any other console until, September 14th, 2022. My point I'm trying to make is that if Xbox literally can't talk about it until the 14th, I don't see them shadow dropping it the 15th without any sort of marketing at all. Like, I just don't see it as like, you shadow drop GoldenEye because it's a 25-year-old game and everybody's going to play it is going to be sickened after 10 minutes of playing it, right? You're going to...
Dude. You're going to trigger our friends.
I know.
With that kind of rhetoric.
Nick's probably not even in the chat anymore, but I'm saying you shadow drop a game like that because it's old as shit, right? So, like, nobody cares. You shadow drop it. It's like, whatever, it's available right now. Go play it, right? You don't shadow drop a brand new game from one of your new studios you just acquired. So there's a part of me that thinks, like, Deathloop, maybe they just hold it for October or November and say, actually market it and be like, all right, it's coming October 20, instead of like, all right, well, it's up and here it is. Like, I don't know.
I think they should market it because it'll be like, it'll be a Game Pass headline act for that month, right? PlayStation exclusive, former PlayStation exclusive. Everyone's been waiting for it to come to Xbox, and technically the franchise will, divert to being an Xbox exclusive therein afterwards, if they indeed do make a sequel, which I kind of doubt they'll make a sequel to Deathloop, but who knows, man? Dude, Rand, where's my sequel to Prey? Where's my Prey sequel, man?
They talked about that today or yesterday in that Redfall video, the 20-minute video about Redfall. Did you watch it? Arcane Austin, they're the ones that made Prey.
I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Dude, we do an Xbox podcast, and they showed 20 minutes, and they talked about Redfall, and you didn't even bother to watch it so we could talk about it.
Rand, listen. I've made a new character in World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
And I need to get to 260 item level before the next raid on this new character. I haven't had time to watch a Redfall video, Rand. Because I'm playing my restoration sermon of World of Warcraft.
I'm just saying, like, the more I see and the more I hear about Redfall, the more I'm excited for it. Talked about how it's their most ambitious game, how it's their biggest game, the biggest map. They talked about in comparison to Prey, like dwarfs the the station and stuff, and it's
Really?
yeah. Go watch it, bro. It was a really good 20-minute talk about Redfall and the vampire gods and like yeah, it's like that game. That game's definitely coming out before Starfield, right? 100%. It's
okay. Do you think Redfall's better than Peppa Pig?
Without a shadow of a doubt. I don't even need to play Redfall to know that it's better than Peppa Pig. I don't even.
Watch it after the show, man.
You should. Achievement says, "Why don't we get those Bethesda drops on console too?" We talked a little bit earlier. It's just probably not worth the time making to port those to console. It's just like, all right, let's just put them. Take the PC version, test a little bit, release it on PC Game Pass. It's not worth whatever it would be worth to make console ports of any of those games, or I think some of them might actually be published by Activision, like Return of Castle Wolfenstein and Quake 4. Maybe they don't have the rights to put them on console. I mean, maybe they will when they own Activision, but you don't know. And the BC teams already moved on. I can't see them coming back for just stuff like that. So yeah, it's just probably not a big priority to put those on console. Plus, you also got to. I
think with regards to games like Hexen and stuff, it's definitely Activision who has the final say. Which is again another reason why I really hope this Activision deal goes through, because there's so much IP that's locked up in Activision that could be utilized. Prototype, Spyro, Crash, and all these other games that are just sort of locked up by Activision's apathy right now. Phil Spencer literally called out Guitar Hero in interviews when this deal initially started going down. And that's because Xbox has a completely different mindset when it comes to some of this stuff. It's like they want to have a diverse array of content for Xbox Game Pass, whereas Activision, they only care about the bottom line and how much dividends they can offer to shareholders. It's a completely different performance indicator, and I think, man, we're just going to get so much good stuff out of Activision. The only downside is it's going to take a long-ass time, man. It's going to take a long time to get it all. We're still waiting for the deal to close, first of all. Second of all, we have to wait however many years for them to integrate into Microsoft. And then we have to wait however many years for them to start changing their philosophy and their strategy with regards to growth and stuff like that. But man, the possibilities are enticing. They are enticing, Rand. We just have to wait and see.
ZF Gaming with the sticker, little cat sticker that says, "How is it going?" Cute little cat, and everybody's on you for not watching the Redfall thing. Yeah, get them,
dude. I gotta hit. I'm level 260.
Def Leppard said Jez just doesn't give a shit. Yeah, you're right. 100%.
I've said on previous shows that I didn't like the look of Redfall.
Sure, you have said that.
I said, and it's a style thing. It seems like it makes me feel old. It makes me feel old. The game's too cool. It's too cool, man. But,
Georgie wants to know what the BC team is doing then. If you recall, during the 20th anniversary of Xbox, they did their last BC drop, and the team was moving on to new things. Right, Jez? I'm almost 100% positive that was.
Yeah.
They said that during. I don't know what they moved on to. They might have moved on to xCloud stuff.
Yes,
but
that's what they moved on to.
But yeah,
they dropped. They did the last drop, which included Max Payne 3, if I'm remembering correctly, Rand.
Mm-hmm.
And then I believe a lot of the team that worked on backwards compatibility have moved on to working on xCloud and improving the experience there, which is the video encoder, the algorithm, and also things like touch controls. Because I don't know if you noticed this, Rand, but Peppa Pig got bespoke. Peppa Pig got bespoke Xbox Cloud Gaming touch controls on Xbox Cloud Gaming, and that wasn't the Peppa Pig devs who made that. It was Microsoft. Microsoft dedicated much needed dev hours to creating a touch experience for Peppa Pig.
Crazy.
And that's more important than backwards compatibility.
That they spent time doing that, but yeah.
What do you mean crazy?
Crazy.
Rand? Peppa Pig is... You haven't even played it. You don't even know. You know who has been playing Peppa Pig this week, Rand?
Who?
Phil.
Is that singling an acquisition?
And Phil has 70% of the Xbox achievements for Peppa Pig as of this podcast.
I mean...
And probably by the time this goes out on audio, he'll have 100%ed Peppa Pig.
Phil's a gamer, bro.
The greatest game of all.
If you haven't played Peppa Pig, can you really call yourself a gamer? I don't even know.
Exactly. Rand, can you call yourself a gamer, Rand?
I don't know. I mean, if Phil's playing it,
Dude, I'm literally depressed because I missed the achievement to rescue the little kid's dinosaur toy from the tree because I rushed ahead and I missed my opportunity to get that 30 game score, man.
Unbelievable.
Peppa Pig's hardcore. You can screw it up. You can screw up your save and you have to start all over. It's in that context, it's kind of like a roguelike. Peppa Pig is literally a roguelike.
Jeez. Let's not mention that Peppa Pig the rest of the podcast, please, for my sanity.
Okay. For you, Rand.
For me. We did have a couple more delays, like everything getting delayed. High on Life, which is the game from the creators of Rick and Morty, that got delayed.
I'm gonna play that next week.
That got delayed 6 weeks. Got delayed 6 weeks, and it's now launching on December 13th. Still really looking forward to it. And Planet of Lana from Thunderful, that got delayed to spring of 2023, but it is now coming to Day 1 Game Pass. And it looks exquisite. And of course, you're going to say, I didn't watch the trailer. I don't even know what you're talking about because I don't have to do things for the podcast, watch stuff, learn stuff.
Wait. What are we talking about now?
Planet of Lana. Lana.
Planet of Lana?
Yeah.
Is that a walking simulator?
I mean, it's kind of like an inside limbo left to right puzzle platformer game.
I haven't watched it. I'm sorry, Rand.
We run an Xbox podcast. You don't even watch any of this stuff. You don't even know any of this stuff.
Look, Rand, I told you. I've been playing World of Warcraft. And listen, Rand. World of Warcraft is literally going to be owned by Xbox very, very shortly. Thus making it relevant to the podcast. In fact, in the future, Rand, we need to have a World of Warcraft section on every podcast because it'll be an Xbox game. No?
No, it won't.
No?
I won't. Well, no. Adam says just dropping in to say love the show and keep up the great work. Thank you, Adam. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adam.
That means a lot. So yeah, Planet of Lana looks incredible. Like, you should really watch the trailer right now. While I'm speaking, go watch the Planet of Lana Game Pass trailer that they just debuted 2 days ago. Watch it because it looks incredible, like all hand painted and stuff. Come on, Jez.
Planet of Lana. Right. Mm-hmm. I'm Googling it. I'm YouTubing it. Game Pass. Oh, it's a Game Pass game.
Well, okay, yeah, cool. That's what the announcement was. They announced that it was delayed, and then they announced that it was coming to Game Pass on day one, which is great.
Spring 2023. I'm seeing a lot of text and not much gameplay right now.
Just wait. Josh wants to know, do you think Gotham Knights or any big games like that will come to GM? Or speaking of World of Warcraft, will it be on Xbox consoles or PC? I'm assuming you mean Game Pass. I don't think Gotham Knights or any of the big games the rest of the year will be on Game Pass. Like Saints Row's coming out.
I don't know, Rand.
What?
I don't know.
You don't know what?
I've been watching this whole Warner Brothers drama right now with Warner Brothers Discovery. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you saw recently, but Warner Brothers, they delisted a shitload of cartoons
Yes.
from HBO Max.
Like 200 episodes of Sesame Street.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the reason they did that is because they didn't want to pay out royalties for that content, right? Now, for me, that suggests that Warner Brothers Discovery is nickel and diming, and they are desperate for money. What if they're so desperate for money that they take that sweet Xbox Game Pass deal, Rand? What if they give so little of a shit that they take any money that they can, similarly to how Square Enix accepts all the negative press from Xbox fans when they take all of the exclusivity deals from PlayStation? What if Warner Brothers is just like, you know what, Microsoft, we don't give a crap about our games. We don't give a crap about gaming. We don't give a crap about our brand. Give us $20 and you can have all of our content.
I would say maybe you're onto something, but most of the footage we've seen of Gotham Knights has PlayStation icons. So
yeah, okay, that's a contract. But what if, like, I'm just talking generally about Warner Brothers games.
Well, I mean,
not necessarily Gotham Knights, right?
The thing was, before AT&T spun all this stuff off, remember they were looking to get rid of their debt. They have a ton of debt, and maybe they're looking to get rid of
debt.
Maybe they're looking to get rid of some of their. I mean, look at here, Multiversus, a free-to-play game, right? Was the number one game this past month in MPD. A free-to-play game was the best-selling game of MPD this past month.
How do they know?
Because, I mean, you have those packs that you can buy for like $30 or $40 or whatever, right?
So, like, they have analyzed that from retail sales of Multiverses?
No, because Xbox and PlayStation, everybody, they give them the digital sales.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. There's only a couple, like, Bethesda doesn't give digital sales, and Nintendo, I believe, doesn't. Nintendo 100% does not disclose digital sales to MPD. But no, Xbox, PlayStation, they all do. And yeah, Multiversus was number one. So we know how big it is. It's just kind of, I see people asking, like, hey, does that mean Xbox should make a team-up brawler? Are they kind of missing out here?
We always hear this criticism. I'll tell you what Xbox told me.
Okay.
Xbox, high up Xbox executives said to me that they have to earn it. They have to earn it. They have to earn the ability to make a Smash Brothers or a Mario Kart and stuff like that. And they don't feel like they've earned the prestige necessary to sort of take those franchises and make them into a sort of amalgamation kind of game. And I thought that was really interesting, because it says to me that Microsoft feels like they've still got a long road to walk before they can sort of hold their head up high. It kind of feels like Microsoft thinks that they've still got a long road to walk to sort of redeem themselves in the public eye, And to be fair, this person said this to me at an event well over, maybe even a couple of years ago at this point. I'll put the question to chat. Do you think Microsoft has earned enough prestige and enough goodwill with the Xbox brand that they can make a sort of Mario Kart of Xbox franchises, like a platform fighter, or one of these other kind of games which uses
Vagabond
Xbox IP?
Throws it back at you and says, "And WB has?" ?
Well, that's exactly it. I don't agree with Microsoft. I don't agree that Microsoft hasn't earned the prestige, especially considering Warner Brothers has literally thrown out like Tom and Jerry. What have they done with Tom and Jerry to earn the right to use that IP? What have they done with Scooby Bloody Doo to earn the right to use that IP? I have like no faith in Warner Brothers as a studio, but they made a damn fun game. That's all that really matters at the end of the day. They made a fun game, So it's less about like, have they earned the right to make this kind of game? And it's more about like, can they make a fun game out of it? Because that's all that matters at the end of the day. is there a fun game going to come out at the end of it? Multiverses is damn fun. I feel no love for Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers is a horrible company. They've completely ruined the DC universe. Like, it's a total mess. Everything is screwed up. Their attempts to sort of emulate Marvel are pathetic. They're absolutely pathetic. They've made some good movies. The Joker was a great movie, in my opinion. You know, but like they've completely screwed up, and they haven't like earned the right to make a game based on the IP. But the developers who made Multiverses, at the end of the day, they made a really fun game, and I think that's all that matters. I don't think Microsoft needs to earn the right to make a Mario Kart racer or a Smash Bros clone or a MOBA using Master Chief and Marcus Phoenix and stuff like that. All that matters is make a fun game. That's all that matters. And can they do that? I don't know. Do they have the studios to do that? I don't know. One of my dreams, Rand, and I know you don't care about MOBAs, Rand. One of my dreams is for Microsoft to revive Heroes of the Storm. I love MOBAs, and I've been playing Pokemon Unite on my phone and League of Legends Wild Rift. Both really, really fun games. Pokemon Unite is so much fun. Casual MOBA game on my phone. I would absolutely love for Heroes of the Storm to be adapted for like Xbox IP. Like slap Master Chief in Heroes of the Storm. Stick Marcus Phoenix in Heroes of the Storm. Other Xbox IP. If Microsoft's strategy is all about taking on Tencent, they need a game that can meet Tencent at every level. They need an answer to League of Legends. They need an answer to Valorant. They need an answer to, even their Runeterra and the team fight tactics. They need an answer to all of these bloody games. And with Activision, they'll have some of that, They'll have like Hearthstone. They'll have, Overwatch and stuff like that. But I think Microsoft needs to... Microsoft's timid, Rand. I think they're timid. They're timid. They're afraid. I think they're afraid. They're afraid of failure. I kind of get that impression that Microsoft is afraid of failure. After Crackdown 3, and stuff like that. Maybe they're afraid of failure, but I say screw it. You can't go through life being afraid of failure. You just have to just say screw it and do it. If I was at Microsoft, I would remake Heroes of the Storm for mobile and console, and I would make it amazing, and I would leverage all of the Xbox IP. I put Crash Bandicoot in there. I put the Prototype guy in there. I put like every Warcraft character in there. I put Master Chief in there. I put Gears of War in there. I put Raz from Psychonauts in there. I think it could be amazing. I'd make a Forza kart game. I don't know why Microsoft doesn't make more of these fun little games like Fall Guys and stuff like that. I don't know why they don't do it.
Georgie says that, didn't you say Xbox is working on a MOBA before though?
Kind of. It's not a MOBA. It's kind of like I can't talk about it. I've had a lot of alcohol, but this is one game that I cannot leak. It's kind of a MOBA, but it's also kind of not. It's more like, the way it was described to me was, it's kind of like if Age of Empires is Forza Motorsport, this upcoming game is Forza Horizon to Age of Empires. So it's kind of like a casual version of Age of Empires, but not quite a MOBA. I don't know. But that's something that hasn't been announced yet. And I don't even know if it's still being made. But we'll have to wait and see.
Have to wait and see.
But I think there's that. But when Microsoft buys Activision, if the deal goes through, they're gonna have so much stuff. It'd be insane to not use that stuff, right?
Well, what about the people saying, "Hey, why don't we get a Killer Instinct 2 before we do a Smash clone?" You know, and I did see Maximilian made a video saying that what if Killer Instinct 2 was being made by Bando but being developed by Arc System Works? What do you think about that?
Wasn't it Maximilian dude who said that Killer Instinct 2 is being made by Arc System?
Well,
Maximilian.
He's kind of like a prediction for him. Yeah, he made a video about it.
I certainly haven't heard anything about Killer Instinct 2. I haven't heard a shred of information. I want to believe that they'll bring it back. You know, like, fighting games are really niche, but they also, like, they generate a lot of buzz. Like, Evo generates so much damn buzz. Like, I like, during this show, I actually saw a retweet from Pokken Tournament. Do you know what Pokken Tournament is, Rand?
No, I don't know. What is it?
Pokken Tournament is a Pokemon fighting game by the devs of Tekken. You don't even know what it is. But I saw like a viral tweet of Pokken Tournament as we were podcasting, dropping my timeline. These kind of games, like they are niche. Like, a lot of people don't want to play fighting games at that sort of hardcore level, but they generate a lot of buzz. You know, whenever Smash Brothers announces a new character, back when they were still developing it. I think they've finished adding DLC to it now. They've done the final character. The tease of a new character for Smash Brothers literally broke Twitter. You know, it's great marketing, and I think it casts a halo effect over the platform. But I don't know if I'll do it. I don't know if they'll do Killer Instinct 2. I have no information about that. I want to believe that they are doing it. There's rumors. You know. Rand,
I want to believe as well.
Do you play Killer Instinct at all, Rand?
I play Killer Instinct quite a bit, yeah.
We should record an hour of Killer Instinct footage, me versus you, for the podcast.
Oh my jeez. I was waiting for you to record some Cult of Lamb stuff, but you didn't. Or Multiverses, but you didn't.
I can record some World of Warcraft stuff.
Nobody wants that. I'm sorry, I probably pronounced your name wrong, but Bahargava, he wants to know, hey Rand, is your name based on the lead from Wheel of Time? Yes, indeed. I named my Xbox gamer tag and my Twitter and everything, Randalthor19 is named after Randalthor from the Wheel of Time, the main character, and the 19 is just a number because Randalthor was taken on Xbox when I made the account in 2004, and I just put 19 at the end to, let me have it. So yeah, it is based off that. Miguel says, I feel they still need to rebuild the brand. People blame Xbox One. Their Connect push was so awful. I don't want any gimmicks. Give me the games first. I mean, that's kind of what they've been doing. Like, all this is basically rebuilding the brand. They've been doing that for a long time. And I think for some people, probably never be completely healed. But, those people are just, you're never going to convince everybody. I'm still, like, it came out that in part of those documents, the Brazilian, that Xbox said that they sold like less than half or around half what PlayStation sold. So like PlayStation's at like 120 million, so Xbox is somewhere like 60 million, 55 million or something. And I still think that's a pretty good number considering how awful the Xbox One generation started. Like the fact that they got up to like mid 50s, is pretty damn, I think, good for the fact that the Xbox One was a literal joke. You had journalists making fun of it. I like Destin Legary, but we all know Destin Legary's whole 1080p, 900p image on IGN, right? With the one hand up and the other one hand down, right? I mean, everybody was just taking shots at Xbox. Everybody. It was just...
Don't diss Destin.
I'm not dissing Destin. I'm just saying. I'm just using his example of how it was a joke,
It was a joke.
And every outlet
screwed up, man.
Yeah, they did. I'm just saying, like, so, like, the fact that we're here, that the series consoles, right, with basically not a lot of games. They let's be honest, like, they haven't really launched a lot of stuff. Is still selling out whenever consoles are in stock. selling better than anything ever before. Game Pass, whether it's at 25 million to 30 million subscribers. Like, the fact that they're doing this well and that they haven't seen a single help at all yet from Bethesda. They acquired them in 2021. Well, they bought them in 2020. Deal closed in 2021. Haven't seen anything from Bethesda at all yet. And we won't until next year. They're buying Activision, but we won't see that effect for years. Like, the fact that they're in this position where they're at now is pretty damn good, considering, when you look back and see how everything was. Like, I mean, not many brands or products come back after just being labeled a joke by everybody or even the media that covers it. Right? Like back during the Xbox, the beginning of the Xbox One era, you couldn't admit you were an Xbox fan because you would get laughed at. You would get laughed out of the building. It was awful. So
it was fun, man. I was like, that's how I built my career, man. I was the one person on Twitter who was like, you know what? I actually like the Xbox One. And that's how I built my career. Because I did. I wanted to share 10 games with my brother. Because that's what the Xbox One was offering. The ability to share your game library like Steam with a relative. And I was like, yeah, I want that. I was already all in on digital already anyway. Man, it was a bad time though. Do you remember Boogie's video?
Yeah, I remember. Angry
going around his house.
Angry Joe's video.
Angry Joe.
Yeah, and he'd grabbing the mic from Major Nelson. I mean, come on. It was awful being an Xbox fan. And then the whole DRM thing was then they walked back 2 minutes later. You had all these different executives giving different answers to different questions all over the place. It was horrible.
Rand.
Yes.
Do you want to know something? I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I have on my hard drive the presentation that Xbox sent to Microsoft corporate about their strategy for the Xbox One. I have the literal presentation where they were like, this is why the Xbox One is the way it is. I have literally that presentation on my PC. And it is very interesting. And do you want to know why?
Why?
It was fucking accurate.
Mm.
They predicted everything. In this presentation, I'm not right about it in the future, but they predicted everything. They had this whole PowerPoint presentation. They talk about Game Pass, even in 2012. They talked about subscription services. They talked about the shift to digital content. They talked about the rise of Netflix. Even in 2012, they talked about cloud gaming. All in this presentation. They talked about the shift to movies and TV and stuff like that. They knew. Microsoft literally knew everything that's happening in 2022. The problem, Rand, they were too early. They were too early. They were too early and they were too forceful. They knew that everything was going to go digital. They knew that movie tie-ins and TV show tie-ins were going to be a big deal. They knew that subscription services were going to be a big deal. They knew that cloud gaming was going to be a big deal. All the way back in 2012, and I have literally the PowerPoint presentation to prove it. They were just too damn early. They were too damn early and they were too forceful. And they sort of presented this vision of the future. And they were like, this is the way things are going, and we're going to make a product that takes advantage of these trends. But the problem is, most people didn't know that this was going to happen. Microsoft knew it was going to happen, but the regular average consumer didn't know. They were completely right. They were just too damn early.
Pensive says, should you be admitting to this publicly? Would be one thing to say that you've seen it, but another to say you actually possess it.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't think Microsoft cares. This is literally 10 years ago. This PowerPoint presentation that I have on my hard drive is 10 years old. And it's crazy. It's like they were clairvoyant. Reading this PowerPoint presentation in 2022 is really weird. They were clairvoyant. They knew the way all this stuff was going to go. Cloud gaming, subscription services, Netflix, movie tie-ins, IP being turned into movies and TV shows. Microsoft, it was like they were sidekick. It was crazy. But they were just too damn early. They were too damn early. And they sort of they forced it through with the wrong product, and they were too overconfident. And instead of bringing consumers along for the ride, they kind of tried to force it on people. And that's why it backfired. It backfired. And we literally lost an entire generation. An entire generation we lost because Microsoft was, too cocky about it. And the thing is, Sony did the same thing, with the PS3. They were Sony was the first console that had Wi-Fi built in. It was the first console that had a Blu-ray built in. And Sony kind of they knew this was going to be the trend. They knew everyone would have Wi-Fi. They knew Blu-ray would be the standard. But the problem is, at the time of the launch of the PS3, nobody had Blu-ray. Nobody had Wi-Fi. So they released the $500 console, and they were just sort of too cocky with it. So they kind of they jumped the gun. Sony jumped the gun with the PS3. Microsoft jumped the gun with the Xbox One. And now we're the sort of current gen, which is sort of the conservative generation, where they're just sort of let's go back to basics. Let's just make a regular console and not do anything too crazy,
And would you say that Nintendo jumped the gun with tablets?
Yeah, I mean the Wii U. Yeah. The Wii. Technically, the Nintendo knew that the Wii U was going to be a thing, right? But the technology wasn't there. So they did it again with the Nintendo Switch, and now the Nintendo Switch is sold over 100 million units. How many units?
I think it's
Nintendo
111 now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous amount of units. But the technology wasn't there for the Wii U. But Nintendo damn well knew that that's the way it was going to go, and they were damn right. They were damn right.
They were damn right.
That's what makes the console industry so exciting. It makes it exciting because there's a lot of it's where technology goes to innovate. Ultimately,
I think that's a good point where we're gonna stop the show and we're gonna take people's questions. So if you got what? We forgot any questions?
Stop the show.
Well, no, we're gonna keep on going. We're gonna keep on going because we're gonna answer people's questions.
Let's go for another hour.
Let's
go for another hour.
We're gonna answer people's questions, right?
You criticize me for saying I'm too tired to carry on.
I'm just saying.
And then here you are stopping the show.
The topics are finished. We're gonna take some questions. If the questions take us another hour to get through, then they take another hour. But
hell yeah!
I want to thank everybody for being here on this Friday. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new. And yeah, it's been a very interesting episode. Jez, did you see the Call of Duty pre-orders? If you pre-order any digital version, you get the campaign up to a week early.
I did not see that. That's very interesting.
That is pretty much.
I saw. Actually, no. I lie. I did see that, and I also saw a take on what that is. Someone, I can't remember who said this, but it was another game journalist who said that the reason that Activision are doing this is to try and get people to actually play the campaign. Yeah. Because a lot of people, like me, we buy Call of Duty and we never touch the campaign. True. I haven't played the Call of Duty campaign since Modern Warfare 2 on the 360.
George wants to know. I mean, look, I think, well, they say digital. I also think it's a way to get people to switch to digital rather than physical, because you don't get this perk with the physical pre-order, digital only. So some people might be like, hey, let's buy digital where the margins are higher. But maybe there's some truth to that where they want people to play the campaign. I don't know, but it's an interesting pre-order for sure. I wonder if that's something they could do for like when they actually have, they own Call of Duty and Sony doesn't have the marketing where it's like play the campaign 2 weeks early on Xbox. You know what I mean? Play it 2 weeks early with Game Pass on Xbox, but PlayStation, you'd have to wait for the actual release. I wonder if that's something they could do. Andrew wants to know if I read comics. I've read comics in the past. I'm, my favorite's Sandman. But I've read like a bunch of Batman stuff, Superman stuff. I never really was into Marvel. But I haven't really read any comics recently, other than kind of going over some of the issues of Sandman before the show came out.
Yeah, I've been rereading Sandman as well. I've actually been trying to read the new arc of Batman. I can't remember the author's name, but I've been trying to go through the I don't know what they call it. They call it the DC Rebirth arc of comics. I've been trying to go through that arc of Batman comics, and it's actually been pretty good. I've been reading them on Kindle. Not amazing. It's not as good as like the Nightfall Contagion kind of days, but I've been quite enjoying it. I really need to get to this question from Brian Jim.
Okay.
Who says, Jez, please speak up on the Blizzard Survivor game. And you know what, Rand? I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about the Blizzard Survivor game.
Should you, though?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about it.
Should you?
The Blizzard Survivor... Yeah, I'm going to talk about it.
I mean, I
don't want. I know you're worried because I'm drunk.
I don't want Mike Ybarra to come and yell at me, okay, or send me a cease and desist, take down the podcast.
He can yell at me. It's fine.
Okay.
But the Blizzard Survival game is codenamed Odyssey. And the Blizzard Survivor game actually looks amazing. And you know what? I've actually seen gameplay footage of the Blizzard Survivor game. It looks like Everwild. Which is crazy. The first time I saw the Blizzard Survivor game, I was like, oh my god, that's Everwild. But it's sort of like, it's a fairy tale game. It's a survival game, but it also has like lots of base building mechanics. It has mercantile mechanics. So it kind of reminded me of Fallout 76. And I know a lot of people are kind of like I know Fallout 76 has a bad connotation, but it actually looked amazing. You can make your own vendors. You can make like for example in Odyssey, you can make like a potion shop, and you can sort of like you can sell potions to other players. Some of the footage I saw, like there was complex machines in a sort of fairy tale aesthetic. It was very unique, and the footage I saw was very early. It was first person, and the gameplay I saw, the character had like a bow and arrow, like an archery sort of thing, fairy tale kind of game, completely new. It wasn't like Warcraft. It wasn't like StarCraft. It was like fairy tale magic. And honestly, it reminded me like Everwild. But it had like fantasy machines. Like I have no idea what the machines were that I saw. It kind of like, it was like a sort of alchemy, almost steampunk. Very, very fairy tale. And the game is codenamed Odyssey. And the footage I saw was from months ago. So it could look very different now. But Brian Jim says, is it an MMO like WoW? I don't think it's an MMO. I think it's a traditional survival game, like Ark Survival Evolved, kind of like grounded. It was first person. The gameplay that I saw was first person. It wasn't third person. It was all first person. Bow and arrow, magic, fairy tale, forests, lots of magic, kind of like. Honestly, I looked at it and thought, oh, wow, that's Everwild. Or Fable. It looked kind of like Fable Legends. It was kind of like that sort of fairy tale aesthetic. It was a completely new IP. It's not related to any existing Blizzard kind of games. And I have no idea when it's going to come out. I have no idea when they're going to debut it. It looked amazing. I'll be completely honest with you. I saw that and I was like, oh my god. that looks incredible. You know, it's for people asking. It's not Everwild. It just looked a little bit like Everwild. It kind of like had that fairy tale sort of aesthetic, kind of like that classic Blizzard Pixar kind of aesthetic. You know. But there was machines too. It was very, very strange. Hard to explain. But it looked amazing. It looked fucking amazing. And I'm very, very excited for it. And I have no idea when they're going to announce it. Also, the next Hearthstone expansion is Death Knights. They're going to add a class to Hearthstone that's Death Knights. So yeah, that's Blizzard's roadmap.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay.
Oh well.
Whittier says...
Now, I know, Rand, you don't like survival games, right, Rand?
Not really, no.
I have no idea how... I don't know how far it goes into survival or how far it goes into RPG. To me, it just honestly looked a little bit like... It reminded me of Grounded a little bit. You know, especially because it had like the character had a bow and arrow and stuff in the video that I saw. But yeah, I think it's going to be a big deal because it's Blizzard. Of course it's going to be a big deal.
Okay. Whittier says, Jez, while at Gamescom, will you be talking to Xbox fans and developers? I would like an Xbox in Germany article like your Xbox in Japan article.
Hey, that's a good idea. I could do that. I'll try and speak to people if I'm there.
You know, my buddy Gopher is going.
I'm going to Gamescom.
My buddy Gopher is going to Gamescom. You should.
Oh, for real?
Meet up with him.
I should meet him. Yeah.
Talk about some anime. He loves some anime.
If anyone's going to Gamescom, look out for a fat guy with glasses and the ponytail. That'd be me. Well, I suppose that'd be a lot of people at Gamescom, really. But yeah, I'll be at Gamescom. I'm gonna check out High on Life. I'm gonna check out what is it called? Lightspeed Frontier. That survival game. I'm gonna check out like a bunch of games. Like there's a lot of Xbox games at the Xbox booth. It's the first, Rand. This is the first trade show I've been to since the pandemic. I'll be shocked if I don't get COVID. I'll be shocked. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Is there any games at Gamescom you want me to check out, Rand?
I don't even know what's at Gamescom, to be honest. So
yeah, a lot of stuff. You should check it out.
Gary says, I don't know if you ever played The Forgotten City, but Nick Pierce, the creator, recently mentioned they're working on a new game. I haven't played it, but I do have it. I kind of wanted to play it. George wants to know if Special Nick was wrong about Killer Instinct 2. I mean, who knows? Game development's weird. Sometimes games are in development and they're not, and who knows? Brad says, do you think Microsoft should acquire Crytek? Microsoft will get Rise and Crysis IP, make another sequel to Prey, since Prey 2017 was developed on the Cry engine. I wouldn't be against them acquiring Crytek. Actually. I know Microsoft just did a deal with Unity, right? They made a deal with Unity for like Azure, right, Jez?
Yeah, like Azure is going to be the exclusive cloud platform for Unity, which is, a lot of indie games are made on Unity. In fact, a lot of non-indie games are made in Unity. Soul Hackers 2 is Unity based. I was shocked because I've been playing Soul Hackers 2. Which is amazing, by the way. And I can say that because the review embargo's passed. I've been playing Soul Hackers 2 on Xbox, and it's pretty amazing. If you like JRPGs, Soul Hackers 2 absolutely has to be on your radar. But one thing I've always speculated, Rand, about with regards to Azure's and PlayFab and GameStack and stuff like that is Microsoft now owns the id Tech engine. The engine that runs Doom and stuff like that. Could Microsoft package id Tech as a product to sell to devs? I often wonder about that. There's no indication they're going to do that, but
Yeah, I don't know.
It's very interesting to think about.
Fly Guy says, can 2023 be the start of a AAA per quarter? Diablo, Forza Motorsport 8, Redfall, Starfield? I mean, cross your fingers. Hope so. Hopefully Xbox has some games at the back half of 2023 as well, so they can actually have, like, fulfill the promise that they started talking about in 2019. But, that's assuming things don't move. But, I mean, yeah, the beginning of next year looks really good, I'm assuming Diablo... Did you also see in that leaked thing from Activision that Diablo release date is going to be given at the Game Awards, Jez?
Yeah, I did see that, and
I wonder.
I think it's true.
I wonder how soon after the Game Awards that'll be, though. Like March. I can't, to give the actual release date. I mean, I don't know. Hopefully, the Activision deal's done before then, so Diablo can go on Game Pass, and then you got Redfall, which definitely seems like it's closer to coming out than Starfield.
Yep.
So
Diablo is going to be such a huge deal for Game Pass
if they can get it done before the deal.
Can you imagine, man? If the deal fails, it'll be a nightmare. It'll be an absolute nightmare if that deal falls through. And I don't
think it'll fall through. There's a lot of people.
I don't think it'll fall through either. Like Warren Buffett is much smarter than me, and probably smarter than you as well, Rand.
Yeah, he definitely is.
Would you say Warren Buffett?
Yeah.
He increased his stake in Activision this week.
I mean, I think
Warren Buffett is betting that the deal goes through.
It'll go through. The question is when. Some people are saying soon. Some people are saying September, October. I'm still sticking to my next year, early next year.
Indeed.
Sismata says StarCraft Ghost, World of Warcraft, Xbox, or new Warcraft game. What would you prefer as first for Game Pass? StarCraft Ghost.
Yeah, I think I've always thought the Coalition could make an amazing StarCraft game. I mean, Gears of War and StarCraft are basically like the same sort of, I don't know, setting almost. It's like the Zerg and the Swarm and the Locust are basically the same enemy, I think the Coalition would absolutely crush a StarCraft game. I think they would be absolutely amazing at making a StarCraft game. It could be like a fire bat with a flamethrower. Oh my god, StarCraft shooter is like the absolute holy grail. I have no idea why we don't have a StarCraft shooter in the year of our Lord 2022.
I know. Where is it?
That has to be like a priority. That has to be a priority for Microsoft when they buy Activision. StarCraft is the most underutilized IP in the history of gaming. I have no idea why they haven't made a StarCraft shooter. What the hell are they doing?
I don't know.
Rand, what are they doing?
You think it'd be a slam dunk, right?
It's slam dunk, yeah.
Let's see. Skull King says Dead Island 2 February release. Yeah, I did see that Amazon leak. So it's getting supposedly re-revealed at Gamescom with Jeff Keighley and then coming out in February. Astro says, Randy, when are you going to play the game of the generation, Peppa Pig? Never.
Oh, come on.
Detroit Reaper says, do you think it's possible Xbox to make a deal with Embracer to get their studios to do day one Game Pass, kind of like the Riot deal? I mean, anything's possible. They could. I mean, Embracer said that they could do those sort of deals. So, I guess maybe it would make sense for they would feel like, oh, maybe it makes sense for this game or whatever. So, I think they could make a deal for some of the games. Yeah. Leonardo says, do you think the fact that Game Pass for Xbox versus PC have slightly different libraries is a problem? Seems rather confusing. Imagine Netflix having specific libraries for TV versus mobile. Yeah, I saw that brought up a lot.
Good
where
point.
It's, and I've always been one to say they should strive for parity wherever possible. Like, the games should be console, PC, and cloud. I've always said, you have stuff like Age of Empires 4, Jez, still not on console.
Yeah.
And I'm of the belief that's kind of BS. Like Age of Empires 4, when that game launched, should have been on console day one. Like Microsoft loves this whole thing of, hey, play the games that you want on the device that you want with the friends that you want wherever you want, but they don't always fully like kind of. It's not always 100%, right? It's like
I hear you, man. I heard at the start of this year that Age of Empires for Xbox was a lock for 2022.
doesn't
But
seem
obviously, it doesn't seem like it. We haven't seen it announced at Gamescom. I mean E3, and potentially we could see it announced at Gamescom, but I have no indication that that's going to happen at Gamescom. In fact, I don't think they are going to announce it at Gamescom. So there's like two scenarios to consider. Either they're not doing Age of Empires for console because it doesn't work with the controller, or it's delayed because they want to really, really nail it. Personally, I just think they should add it to console and make it mouse and keyboard exclusive. I don't know why they don't just do that as an experiment, maybe. You know, because to be fair, to be completely honest and completely fair, I wouldn't want to play Age of Empires with a controller under any circumstances. You know, I think games like RimWorld work with the controller because you can pause them. At least like on RimWorld, when it's PvE focused, you know, player versus the computer, you can pause the action and then you can like set up your buildings and your actions and stuff like that and queue them up. And you don't have to like worry about micromanagement in real time using a controller. I think like it's with the controller, Age of Empires is going to be incredibly niche. I think they should just drop it with mouse and keyboard support and just say, yeah, if you want to play Age of Empires on console, you can, but you need a mouse and keyboard connected. You need like a Razer turret. You know, Razer turret is like the mouse and keyboard for Xbox, you know? And I think they should just do it, especially considering like they're trying to make more games work with the mouse and keyboard on the cloud. You know, we talked earlier about PC Game Pass recently getting the ability to filter games by mouse and keyboard support. And, you know, if that's what they want to do it. Go balls deep, you know. Shave your balls using Manscaped and the code XB2 at manscaped.com and check out. But I've always thought Microsoft's approach to keyboard and mouse is sort of like half-hearted. And part of that is because people just don't use mouse and keyboard on console. They just don't. Nobody owns a Razer turret. It's only like me and a couple of other people who owns a Razer turret on Xbox. And even then, I don't really use it, you know. And then a lot of the games that you think would work well with mouse and keyboard, like RimWorld, like Surviving Mars, like Stellaris, they don't work with mouse and keyboard on Xbox. You know, they only work with the controller. So there's this weird disconnect between like what the expectations are with mouse and keyboard. And at the end of the day, Age of Empires could be the game that figures this out and sorts out this sort of expectation, you know, with gamers. But we have no idea what the strategy is for Age of Empires, mouse and keyboard on console, and if they're even still going to do it. Last I heard, about a year ago, they were going to bring Age of Empires to console, but I have no idea if that's still the case. It's been a long time since I've had any information about Age of Empires on console. We just have to wait and see. You know, I hope they bring it because, you know, Age of Empires is a cool game. Even if you play it online versus offline versus a computer, a lot of history there, very well designed. We just have to wait and see.
Mm-hmm.
Have to wait and see.
Let's see. Nomad says, any thoughts on the rumor that Bethesda is creating a new studio for remasters and remakes? I mean, it's been a rumor for a while, but I don't know if there's any truth to that. I mean,
I have no idea if there's any truth to that.
I mean, I could see there being remasters and remakes of Bethesda games, like Fallout 3 and stuff like that, but I don't know if they're building a studio dedicated to doing that, so...
I often I wonder how advanced the Starfield edition of the Creation Engine is. Because, like, I'll be honest, Rand, I don't think the Starfield engine looked that far ahead of Fallout 4. I mean, do you think it looked that different from Fallout 4? Or am I crazy? Like, it didn't look that much more advanced than Fallout 4, personally.
Yeah, I mean, it looked a lot better than Fallout 4. Are you smoking something?
You think I'm smoking something?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Go watch
Fallout
the
4 with mods?
Digital Foundry video about it. You'll see it.
Okay, well, in that case, if I'm wrong and that Starfield is actually significantly more advanced than Fallout 4, maybe we could get Fallout 3 on Starfield's engine. Maybe we could get Skyrim on Fallout's engine. You know, that's Skyrim is isn't it in the top 10 most sold games of all time? Am I am I misremembering that?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the top 10 is.
Yeah. If they are making a studio dedicated to, remakes and remasters, port in a lot of these games like Fallout 3, Skyrim, hell, port Oblivion to the Skyrim engine. I think it could be very lucrative. And honestly, I would replay a lot of these games if they were ported to a new engine, especially Fallout 3. A lot of people say like Fallout New Vegas was the best. Fallout New Vegas was the best Fallout, but I don't know why. But Fallout 3 was the Fallout that I played the most. I would love to see that on an updated engine. I absolutely love Fallout 3 so much. Got a very special place in my heart. But again, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, Mozambique, sorry if I said your name wrong, says, when are we getting Valorant on Xbox? I don't think we're going to get a Valorant on Xbox, are we? I don't think we are.
Yeah, the only Tencent game that is confirmed for Xbox right now is League of Legends Wild Rift. And also that RPG, the League of Legends RPG, which I can't even remember the name of it. I have no idea where that game is. It was announced years ago, and we still haven't got it. But Valorant, that is nowhere to be found on Xbox right now. But is Valorant on Steam? I don't think it is, right? I don't think it is. You have to download the Tencent launcher or whatever. I think like Tencent's mentality is like, why should we pay Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo when we can just deliver games directly to PC players without having to pay any kind of cut? Because like Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, and Steam, they all take a cut of revenue when a game is sold on those platforms. Whereas, like, whatever Tencent's launcher is, which I don't even know what it is. Actually, I've got League of Legends installed, but I don't know if it's got, like, a special launcher or anything like that. The Riot launcher, not the Tencent launcher. I don't know. They've got, like, the Riot Games launcher. Like, I've launched League of Legends right now on my computer. And it's got like this whole sort of like Riot Games launcher. And from what I can tell, yeah, okay, so I can install Valorant, Teamfight Tactics, Legends of Runeterra, which is their card game. I can install all those games from this like launcher, which is horrible, by the way. That launcher is terrible. It's taken over my whole bloody computer. It's like full screen and shit. I don't want a full screen damn launcher. I hate that shit so much. But yeah, I digress. At the end of the day, League of Legends doesn't need console. League of Legends does not need console. They don't need to pay Xbox a cut, And I suppose that's ultimately why Valorant isn't on console right now. Because Xbox doesn't have the volume, They don't have the volume. But I suppose, like, Riot is sort of engaging and experimenting with PC Game Pass because, obviously, at the Xbox event at E3, they announced that if you subscribe to PC Game Pass, you get all the content across all of Valorant's PC games for free. Rand, I would I would love to see how much Microsoft paid for that.
Probably
I would
a
absolutely
shitload.
love. How much do you think they paid for that? Because like one topic we didn't discuss was the fact that Cooking Simulator cost 600 grand.
Yeah, 600
Microsoft,
grand. Mm-hmm.
yeah, Microsoft reportedly paid 600 grand to get Cooking Simulator in Game Pass. How much do you think they paid Riot to get all of their content? Valorant, League of Legends, Legends of Runeterra, League of Legends Wild Rift, all those characters, thousands of dollars.
I'll say.
How much do you think they paid?
I'll say 9 figures.
Million?
Hundreds of millions.
Hundreds of millions? Like $100 million?
Yeah, anywhere between 999 million to 100 million is what they paid.
Yeah, I would estimate like it's
definitely in the
millions.
millions.
Tens of millions.
Maybe
it's in the tens of millions, I think.
I don't know, maybe, but I don't know, man. Like,
it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell.
It ain't no 500. It ain't no 500 grand. I'll tell you that much.
No, it's not. But it could be incredibly lucrative for Xbox.
I mean, there was some sort of kind of things not that long ago about Capcom where like people saw that maybe like Xbox paid like $20 million for Devil May Cry 5 or whatever in Game Pass for like a few months. If you're paying like that, like it was like 20 million or something.
You know what, Rand? I might have some documents on my hard drive that denote how much Microsoft's paid for some Game Pass subscription.
Well, then go look at them. Yeah,
Lucius, have a look.
Lucius says Xbox studios are forced to create PC versions for day one, but these PC studios aren't forced to make Xbox games. It's a terrible policy. I mean, like I've said, I feel like everything should be standard across, and if you release an Xbox game from first party, it should be everywhere day one, and that goes for these. Like, Aura History Untold is coming just to PC next year. Like, I'm sorry, like that should be on console. What?
I disagree.
Well, you're wrong.
I disagree with you.
You're wrong.
I disagree, and do you know why I disagree?
You're wrong.
I don't think certain games work on console. I don't think Aura History Untold will do as well on console as it does on PC.
I mean,
I really don't.
Probably not.
So, like, your argument is that even though the game won't do so as well as on console as it does on PC, that they should accept that as a sunk cost?
I don't know. Well, then, are there some console games that won't work well on PC, or does everything work well on PC?
Everything works well on PC because PC's a master race, baby.
Yeah. Georgie wants us to predict dates for the Xbox's first party 2023 first half. I mean,
oh, you're the master of dates.
I don't know. Starfield May.
Let's
I mean,
everyone listening to chat, everyone in chat, let's make a note of this. Rand says Starfield in May.
Redfall.
All right.
I would
Redfall?
say Redfall in February, but February is packed right now, so maybe March.
Rand says Redfall in March.
And then Diablo in April.
Rand says Diablo in April.
I mean, I don't know. Minecraft Legends in June.
Minecraft Legends in June.
I forgot Forza Motorsport. Where does Forza Motorsport fall in? End of March for Forza Motorsport.
That's got to be... What? I would have thought I would put Forza Motorsport in the holiday season, quarter 3 or 4.
Yeah, but they already said it's... Remember, everything they showed was in the next year, and Forza Motorsport... Yeah, that's not no quarter 3, Jez. I mean, I guess
you're right.
End of May,
right.
end of March. I don't know.
Damn. So, Forza Motorsport in end of March, did you say?
End of March or end of May. Let's say end of March.
Okie dokie. Well, we've got that on record. You're right. They did say all that was 12 months in the making, but... This is the season of delays, is it not?
Yeah, one of those will probably end up getting delayed. But you know what? I think that's a good spot to end the show. This show went on a lot longer than I thought. Thank you guys so much for being here and all the support. Thank you guys. You guys all make the show worth doing. You know, every single week, and putting up with Jez every single week. You know,
Wait, what?
We do it for the chat.
That's mean.
Mm-hmm.
We do it for the chat.
Do it for the chat. You know, next week someone's gonna come in here and be like, "You guys are what's wrong with gaming discourse? You said Sony wasn't competent." Okay, see ya.
Oh, man.
Wouldn't want to be ya. Go hang out on Twitter Spaces for 9 hours. Why don't you? You know. Anyways, hope everybody has a great weekend. We'll be back next Friday or maybe Saturday because next weekend's my birthday. You know, hopefully get some birthday wishes, some birthday presents. Jez will be back from Germany.
Hang on. Tell us exactly which day it is.
My birthday is on Saturday.
When is your birthday?
On Saturday.
The 27th?
Mm-hmm.
Okie dokie. Then I can put it in my calendar so I make sure I won't forget.
Yeah. And then we'll talk about what's at Gamescom and all these things. So, yeah, everybody have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you next week. What?
Wait, Brad.
What?
We might have to do a Saturday show next week because I'm traveling back from Gamescom on Friday.
Ooh, so it means a birthday stream? We gotta do the show on my birthday?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, if you're not partying down and shit.
I got no friends, Jez, so nobody's coming to party with me.
Don't say that.
No,
I feel bad.
So
with Shakespeare.
It might be a Saturday show next week, so until then, guys, have a good rest of the day and keep it gaming. Later.
Take care, everybody. Manscaped.com.